Delanco Township Committee Meeting of February 26, 2024, beginning at 7 p.m. at the Delanco Township Municipal Building, 770 Coopertown Road, Delanco, New Jersey.
Recording?
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
No.
that's really good.
No? Okay.
No. Let's try it again, Mayor.
Yeah,
How about
that's
now?
nice. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Test 1, 2.
Try it again, Mayor.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's very staticky. We are recording.
Okay. You sound confident about
Very,
that.
very staticky through the headset. So,
Okay.
But we are recording.
Very well.
Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the February 26th, 2024 Township Committee Meeting. We go roll call, please, Janice.
Mrs. Patrick.
Here.
Mr. Olet.
Here.
Ms. Seuss.
Here.
Mr. Templeton.
Here.
Mr. Bartlett.
Here. Also present, our Township Administrator, Mr. Schwab, Mrs. Lohr, Municipal Clerk, Mrs. Russell, Deputy Municipal Clerk, and Chief Tilger, the Police Chief. Please all rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we have the sunshine statement, please, Janice?
Please be advised that proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act in the following manner. Written notice has been mailed to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post and published in the January 4th, 2024 editions. Written notice has been posted on the official bulletin board of the Township of Delanco at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. And brand new, we have a live stream statement. This meeting of the Delanco Township Committee may be transmitted via live stream on YouTube video. The streaming of the meeting is not intended to be relied upon as formal public access under OPMA, Open Public Meetings Act, and if the technology is disrupted for any reason, the township meeting will proceed in person as an official meeting in accord with the official notice.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Janice. First item on the agenda is Ordinance 2024-01, Calendar Year 2024 Model Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-45.14, second reading by title only and public hearing. Hearing is now open to the public for Ordinance 2024-1. Seeing no members of the public coming forward, the hearing is closed to the public. Can I ask for a motion for Ordinance 2024-1, please?
So moved. Second.
All right. Motion by Ms. Seuss, second by Ms. Fitzpatrick. Roll call, please.
Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. All right. Ordinance 2024-2, a bond ordinance of the Township of Delanco in the County of Burlington authorizing the acquisition of vehicles and equipment, appropriating the sum of $300,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $285,000 in bonds or notes of the township for financing such appropriations, and making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. So the second reading by title only and public hearing. Hearing is now open to the public for Ordinance 2024-2. Hearing is closed to the public. Can we have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Seuss and second by Ms. Fitzpatrick. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes, being that the dollars that are being allocated or bonded are for the street sweeper.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. Ordinance 2023-3, amending Chapter 295, governing vehicles and parking. Second reading by title only and public hearing. Hearing's now open to the public for Ordinance 2024-3. Mr. Weber.
Red Weber, 22 ships. A couple of questions on that. Are those no U-turn signs going to be on both sides of those streets? Talking about on the island?
Chief?
Yeah, I would recommend that, yes, we'll talk to Public Works because it's got to go both ways.
It's got to go both ways on all three of them, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And has the DMV going to be notified of that?
I'll be in touch with my contact. They haven't yet, but I will be.
Okay, that's what I just want to find out.
Yep.
Because questions have come up on that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to thank Janice, she sent us the ordinance so that I was able to publish it in our Newton News. So that everyone knew.
Great.
The development had. So that's all I want to know.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray.
Does that include the point?
Yes.
Does your newsletter include the point?
No, it does not. Because they are not parcels. They're a complete different entity, have their own board and everything else.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll close this to the public. We have a motion, please, to approve ordinance 2024-3.
So moved.
To Fern. Second, please.
I'll second it.
Second. All right, motion by Mr. Olet, second by Ms. Fitzpatrick to adopt ordinance 2024-3 on second reading. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Seuss? Yes. Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. All right. Resolution 2024-46. Mr. Martin, could you please step up to the podium?
I want to hear the vote.
You want to hear the vote?
Good one.
So this is a resolution honoring Daniel Martin. Whereas the contributions and service given by those willing to serve the community should not go unrecognized, and whereas Daniel Martin has dedicated over 18 years as a member of Delanco Township's Planning and Joint Land Use Board, with 14 of those years serving as vice chair of the board, and whereas Daniel Martin has also served his community as the Planning Board / Joint Land Use Board liaison to the Delanco History Board for 6 years. Whereas this honor is in recognition of Daniel Martin's outstanding professionalism and dedication as a leader in service to his community, and whereas the leadership, knowledge, and unselfish devotion brought to the Delanco Township Planning and Joint Land Use Board and to the entire township by Daniel Martin will be surely missed. Now therefore, I, Matthew Bartlett, Mayor of the Township of Delanco, on behalf of the members of the Township Committee and all the citizens of the Township of Delanco, do hereby recognize and commend Dan Martin for his dedication and outstanding service to the community, dated today, February 26, 2024. Thank you so much.
Down there.
How are you?
I think I've served with everybody on the I'm not wearing a white yet. I'm going to be guiding that.
And like Dan just said, we've pretty much all served with him on the Joint Land Use Board at some point. I think I spent 4 years in captivity, at this dais with Dan up here, and always great to work with.
I had cake with his dog.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yep.
Are you leaving so soon? We didn't vote for it yet, Dan. We can still take it back. Yeah. So we probably should have done this first. Can we get a motion to approve what we just did for him?
So moved.
Second.
Vern and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we need a-
Aye.
It's an aye. Everyone, yes.
Right.
Thanks, Dan, for
It's void
coming.
if we don't vote on it, so.
All right. Next up, we have the fiscal year 2024 Local Recognition Improvement Grant. And that's recreation. We got so caught up with Dan there. And
That's
seeing
me.
Mr. Taylor is not here, we will go to, this is, you have the information?
I think so. I think I have it together.
Okay.
So, as we are aware, we have the opportunity to apply for the Local Recreation Improvement Grant for 2024. And Recreation has worked with the Planning Committee to come up with a design for a playground for ages 5 to 12 at the Field of Dreams. This playground has been part of the master plan since its inception. I believe it's 2004. So the playground equipment is being proposed to be installed behind the pavilion, right kind of near where the dirt parking lot is. You can see on your schematic here where the location is. So we're proposing to have a path installed from the end of the pavilion there to the playground. The base of the playground equipment is going to be a poured rubber foundation. The playground equipment is ADA compliant as well, so the foundation will also be compliant, so wheelchairs can access that, strollers can access that as well, very easily right up to that playground equipment. We do have, I think, 2 benches as well proposed, and we do have the opportunity to have potential future ADA parking spaces as well as additional sidewalks right where the dirt parking lot is there along that fence line. You can see in your schematic here, and I think I showed you guys a better color photo. It's kind of confusing if you look at this, what the playground equipment looks like. You have 2 slides, some climbing apparatus, some, I don't want to say monkey bars, but I guess that's kind of what they're called there. Some covering as well for the sunlight. So it's a really nice piece for what we're looking for. I guess the goal is to have something for when their siblings are playing soccer, the kids can go and do something and climb and access this. It's not a something that people are going to go to as like a focus of destination, like, hey, let's go to this place. It's when you're there, so it's passive, I guess, is what the best way to put it is. So we're really excited to move forward with this, and you can see from the pre-design estimates kind of what it came in at. We're going to apply for the 100,000, the full 100,000. The township does have some contribution in there as well to cover the design costs, some additional like seating and grading that will need to be done afterwards. They will be contributing some funds towards the sidewalk as well. So if you take a look at that, you'll see kind of what the cost came in at. So I thank Taylor Design for getting this to us in time. We did have a tight deadline. Rec had initially thought that the Vine Street Park may have been an option, but after further review, it wasn't something that we can move forward with this grant. So we think this is our best opportunity, and I hope that the committee feels the same way. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I'd just like to make a couple comments. Working on the Field of Dreams for all these years, that this is really nice that we're finally doing the tot. I would consider it like a tot lot for the younger children to have something to do while their parents and siblings are on the field, whether they're playing soccer or softball, and it's kind of like putting the whole package together now. So I'm really excited about it, and I want to thank Carolyn for putting together this package.
Yeah, my pleasure. I think it'll be really nice. We're also, I should add, the dirt access road there is going to be paved very soon in the coming weeks. I think right up to the dirt parking lot there. So it's going to be a nice paved road as well, so that'll be a nice function. If we do get this grant, you'll have some nice paved streets to get there.
Thank you, Carolyn. Vern?
I think this is great. Again, the Field of Dreams, it's been in the makings for many, many years, and we couldn't do everything all at once, so doing pieces along the way, and I think it's a good thing.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm glad it's the direction shifted from Vine Street to this. The plan that Taylor Design put out for Vine Street seemed a complete change to what the atmosphere of Vine Street Park is, including the addition of additional property we required a year or so ago. But I like this. I would make the suggestion that that shorter pathway and handicapped or ADA parking spaces be considered a little sooner or as soon as possible. It's a long way to push a wheelchair from the existing parking lot by the pavilion and down that other way. So having a ADA compliant parking spot and that much shorter sidewalk would facilitate much easier access for someone that has to deal with a wheelchair there.
That was my initial plan, actually, when I talked to Scott about it, but due to the paving costs, we weren't able to do that now, so that's why we proposed the path that way. So we have the 5 handicap spots there now, so I definitely would stay on top of that with recreation to get that one spot paved. There are other reasons why we can't pave that entire thing. I'm sure you're aware with the different issues that are surrounding that, but yeah, it's definitely something that we're going to consider sooner than later.
Yeah, and
With the amount of parking spaces in the county and the road, we'd have to extend the road, make a designated turning lane there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I echo Mike's comments about this being a better option than the Vine Street Park. As mentioned, as Kate mentioned, this has been in the works for over 20 years, and from having spent many seasons out there with my son and soccer and seeing all the kids out there who aren't playing but are watching their siblings play, it would be nice for them to have something to do instead of just horsing around. This would be some nice recreation amenities for them. So nice job by Rec on this. With that being said, we have a motion to authorize Resolution 2024-47, authorizing the fiscal year 2024 local recreation improvement grant application.
So moved.
A second.
Kate and Carolyn, can we have a roll call, please, Janice?
Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
And Mr. Bartlett?
Yes.
Thank you.
Meeting is now open to the public for comments and questions. This is session number 1. Mr. Weber.
From Shift. I just will let the township know that the association HOA sent a letter to Mr. Singleton, and he went back to the county and told them to fix between 47 and 49 pennies. The engineer came out this week. I was with him along with John Italiano, who lives at 49 Pennington, and he was shocked at the condition of it. He said he's surprised they haven't been sued so far. So they didn't take it to the state because the state would take them a year to get it fixed. So he decided that they were putting it on the agenda, on the schedule to come in, tear out all of the stones and everything else that are in there, put in crushed concrete, pack it down, put 2 inches of macadam on there, 8 feet wide, so that police and everybody else can get back into there if need be, as well as fire department and so forth. And it's going to change the angle of that hill, so that it's not going to be 100% ADA compliant, but it's going to be better than what it is. And the stones are not going to be rolling down into there. Because you had no, John said you had no personal fault.
Yeah, I did see the email from Mr. Italiano over the weekend, and I am greatly happy to see that, and I'm glad that Senator Singleton was able to get with the county and get that addressed.
Well, John had talked to someone else up there, and they said the only probably won't discount for the director of Mr. Singleton to get it done.
Right, because obviously we did have the county here, and they absolutely said that they wouldn't be in a position to do that. So I'm glad John went to the senator and he put the pressure on.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
Yes, it does. So, thank you. Kate, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Anyone else? All right, we will close this session, and we'll go to comments and reports from the Township Administrator, Mr. Schwab.
Thank you. Minor thing, or well, major for the people nearby. Marandino Construction is going to be starting this week on doing the curb and sidewalk modifications for handicap curb ramps with our CDBG grant. They'll be doing it at multiple locations in town, and we have all that posted. Those nearby are going to receive notification. Also, there's several meetings this week that are important. We got our budget meeting tomorrow at 3:30, Township Committee members. We have a seawall meeting with the engineer at 1 o'clock that Mike and John and I are going to do. We have a meeting with the crossings at 3 for that group. Thursday, Janice and I will be on a trash collection contract meeting with the other communities that we work with. And next week, now on Tuesday, not Wednesday, we're having our first meeting with the new contractor at Field of Dreams at 3 o'clock. So that, amongst other things, is going to keep us busy.
So, quiet week is what you're saying, Richard.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, sir. All right, department head, we'll start with the chief.
Good evening, thank you. I'll begin with our February statistics to date. Police initiated 12 police cases. There were 127 motor vehicle stops conducted and 53 motor vehicle violations issued. They handled 646 calls for service. They handled 7 motor vehicle accidents, and there were 3 adult arrests. Since our last meeting, we hosted the County Hope One mobile unit on the 20th. The mobile unit provides assistance to people struggling with addiction and as well as with their families. We were told that it was a successful event. This is the 3rd time now we've had them in town, and it seems to be a good relationship that we've built. Our officers attended the First Amendment auditor training that the JIF set up. Aaron Provenzano did a nice job bringing retired Chief Hummel in, and he conducted that training. Our officers also attended a wellness presentation by Dr. Jennifer Kelly. It's a new program that we're initiating this year. It'll provide the opportunity for officers to speak with Dr. Kelly on numerous items ranging from mental health to family support and so forth. So we're scheduling the officers to attend that probably within the next month or two. We'll start the process. And also our 2 recruits are both progressing well in both academies, Gloucester County Police Academy and the Atlantic County Police Academy. And recruit Orff is on track to graduate in April, so we're looking forward to him joining the agency. And that's all I have tonight.
Anyone have any questions for the chief?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. This is Laura.
Yes, very quickly, I attended Burlington County Community Development meeting last Thursday. It was an in-person meeting. It was the reorganization and the executive committee. They have not received their federal funding allocation from HUD yet. So any grant awards that are slated are temporary based on funding. There may be no money, there may be less, there could be more. I will say that out of 15 municipalities that applied for CDGB funds this round, 3 are funded. And they are public social programs based, not infrastructure based. Of the nonprofits that applied, all but 1 are funded at 100% of their request. So there is a definite shift in the funding scope and focus. But there's another meeting in March, and hopefully they'll know more about the funding from the federal government, from HUD, and to see if there might be some more money coming in, where they could fund more of the municipal infrastructure projects. So I will keep you up to date on that. And Bev is going to go over some dates coming up that we've been requested to, announce tonight.
Couple things coming up in April. We'll have the townwide yard sale, which is Saturday, April 27th. And the following week, we'll have a free shredding event here in the parking lot, Saturday, May 4th. And also the community cleanup day at Public Works Garage, also Saturday, May 4th. Parking count.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Bev and
Thank
Janice.
you.
Yes.
For the nonprofits that were funded, or any of those provide services that Delanco residents would be able to take advantage of, or?
Yes. Yes, and it's everything from Providence House to senior services to Code Blue to meals, and they are not municipal specific, they are county-wide, regional-wide for those services. And of the 3 municipalities that are receiving funding, their focus is their senior center, meal delivery, a Code Blue shelter, those types of public, social services, rather than infrastructure, streets, roads, sidewalks, curbs, even ADA ramps. Several towns applied for continuing their ADA handicap barrier removal, and those were not even funded. So, but it's not finished yet. There may be more funding coming available. The projection was based on previous year, 5-year projections. So there may be less, there may be more. It's not done yet. So, but that's just a preliminary report on the planned funding, given a certain level that would be funded by HUD. Okay.
A lot of wait and see.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Janice.
You're welcome.
All right, consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Is there anything that anyone needs removed from the consent agenda?
No.
No.
All right, Resolution 2024-48, awarding contract for third-party fire and plumbing subcode services. Resolution 2024-49, resolution requesting permission for the dedication by rider for the Lead Hazard Control Assistance Fund required by NJSA 52:27D-437.20 little a and NJSA 52:27D-437.17 little b and Public Law 2021 C.182. Resolution 2024-50 to cancel taxes and refund tax overpayment due to total veteran exemption pursuant to NJSA 54:4-3.30A. And Resolution 2024-51, resolution to cancel 2024 property taxes due to total veteran exemption pursuant to NJSA 54:4-3.30A. Payment of bills, current fund $241,827.62. Payroll, $154,467.79. Capital Fund, $130,124.25. Unemployment Fund, $5.34. Escrow Trust Fund, $2,627.98. Housing Trust Fund, $330.50. Approval of minutes for January 3rd, 2024, and January 8th, 2024, and approval of the department reports. And Mr. Schwab and Mrs. Lohr, are those numbers of the payment of bills reflected of?
No, I was going to correct you. The current Fund 1 is $240,687.62. Those ones for $1,140 that we removed was incorrect.
Yeah, there was a bill regarding to the court camera system that they're not using
Right,
anymore.
that check has been pulled and will be voided.
All right.
And the minutes will reflect the updated bill list amount, less that check for that computer, the IT services for the court.
All right, great.
Okay?
Thank you, Janice. Can we have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Who was the first one? That was either
Mike.
Fern or Mike.
Mike.
Mike and Carolyn. And can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. Any correspondence, Janice?
Yes, two pieces. The first one is from the Burlington County Public Works Planning Board Office, 1900 Briggs Road, Mount Laurel. The New Jersey County Planning Board, the Burlington County Planning Board will be having a public hearing on their proposed Burlington County Land Development Review Resolution, and that hearing will be on March 12th, 2024 at 3 p.m. at the Burlington County Engineers Office at 1900 Briggs Road in Mount Laurel. The second piece of correspondence is from Delanco Township Walnut Street Middle School. It's their annual notice of the upcoming graduation. This year it will be Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. And they are asking if we are going to continue with our two awards for Community Pride and Spirit, the Mayor Brett Harris Memorial Award. So I wanted to bring that to your attention and ask if you wanted to continue to support that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Everyone good?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, we don't need an official vote as long as there is a consensus agreement. Okay,
We're good.
very good. I will let the school know that we will be, the township will be supporting those two awards.
Thank you very much. I did take a look online at the County Planning Board updated ordinance that was part of that letter, and yeah, it would be helpful if they sent a red line version so we could see what was changed from the previous one, as opposed to trying to read 134 pages and figure out what they may have and may have not have changed. So we'll have to tune in and find out, I guess. All right, meeting is now open to the public for comments and questions. This is session number 2. If you have any comments or questions, please step to the podium and give your name and address for the record. All not move at once. All right, well, seeing no one, we'll close this session of comments and questions to the public. And now we are going to do the 2024 municipal budget preparation section. We're going to come down here and reset the tables and all the various groups and organizations that are in attendance tonight. We're going to be going over their budget requests for this year.
Do you want to take a 5-minute recess just to?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
All right.
Good meeting, Adam.
Mayor, we're once again recording.
Recording, all right. All right, first group we're going to go to this evening is the Library Association. Sorry, JJ. We forgot to bring the snacks, John, sorry. Another Tic Tac, John?
What's that, like 10 calories or something like that?
No calories.
Oh, no calories.
I don't remember seeing it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. They've already packed up all the stuff I had. The only thing that's new in the pack I gave you is the stuff I got to work. Everything else we have for.
All right, great.
The purpose of the meeting is so that at least once a year, there's good communication, oral communication between groups, funded by the budget and the fundees. Anyhow, the fundees and the funders. So, and this is to give you all the information you need. You're not going to make any decisions yes or no to your budget necessarily. That we'll discuss when we put it all together. And everything you ask for is in the preliminary budget, and then they got to decide what to keep there, add to it. You've got a few changes, but most times, you got to go to it.
All right. Floor is yours.
We have a lot of people here tonight. We actually have 6 members of our board in the room, and we have our library director. And we also have our assistant librarians. They're available to answer any questions that you might have.
I'll turn this to you in just a
Sure.
second.
Thank you. Did you have any questions particularly about the budget? I can tell you that, as always, that Laundry does a fabulous job. There's something for everyone from read to me to large trips and seniors, accommodating groups in the township that need a place to meet. Our numbers are mighty. There were 5,981 people in the board. 5,981 people came to the board in 2023, and we have circulated 12,713 names. 1,256 people attended programs, and we issued 72 library cards. There are also, the county has us on a 2-year renewal cycle for library cards, so there are also non-renewal units. A lot of new initiatives this year. One of the things that we worked on was a literacy corner for young children. So we got clean furniture and it's kind of forest themed and it has big books that you can pull down and you can sit with something. Something else that you can. So this is all pretty much it's there. Looking ahead, what we're looking for in 2024 is to reestablish a professional working relationship with school districts because we really do share a mission and it would be nice to be able to do one together. And bring people in the community together.
We'll go through the numbers.
So generally, overall, we're not asking too much more money than what we had before. The biggest increase that you'll see on the expense side is on the salary side. Now that is specifically because of the increase to $15 an hour for mostly our lower wage staff that went from $12.60 up to $15 in the middle of last year. That brings us up to code in New Jersey 2 years ahead of schedule for us since we're an organization of 6 employees or less. So it was brought up to the standard right now. It's $15. I know it's $15.71, but it's $15 for now for part-time staff. And some corresponding adjustments to the existing staff, just to balance everything out. As the lower people got a much larger increase, and we try to offset that with a little bit of a better increase for the staff. But still, our request from the township is only about $3,000 more than what it was last year, from 79 to 92. I go back. 25.
Yeah, 2,500. Yeah.
Sorry, to be precise. I'm doing this by memory.
Good job, Tom.
So, there is a line it's down towards the bottom of the revenue line. It's the second one up from the bottom. It says library to pay. That is what we expect to pay out of our own funds, accumulated funds, and so right that's about $8,400. $5,700. Yeah, so that is our input into the budget as well, coming from, we anticipate, we never know what annual appeal is going to be, so we try to, I'm very conservative in my estimate for that. It's usually about $4,000, $5,000 I'll estimate. We've been lucky, and for the generous donations, it's been a little bit north of that.
Because some of them are memorials.
Right. And there's some memorials. Right.
Right.
So, and some of them are designated by the donors for something, or else so they are reserved for large print books or something like that, so they are restricted to all that stuff. But we try to keep our portion of it pretty good as well, to make sure that we're showing that we're funding what we can fund as well.
It's a great public service, and the program service, phenomenal. Your staff does a super job. Katrina has does the best, and I certainly enjoy the programs and with the adults, and I go as often as I can as these events, and I always have a good time. It's fun to see other people out there enjoying it.
Excellent. They do a very exceptional job in doing, maintaining, our budget doesn't really change that much. Right.
Really, it does.
So, it usually is just our top line of salary, that comes out, but for the most part, it is extremely good job of maintaining programs and all that stuff.
You won't be surprised to know I'm a library nerd, so anywhere I go, I'm a library nerd, so anywhere in the world I go. And we offer what huge libraries offer, wherever you can. Some state system libraries don't offer the programs that we do. Learning about what I think
It should be.
Tom, the 2023 column you had estimated, these past 2023, are these firmed or?
I can provide you firm ones after that. This was done at November.
Okay.
When, November 15th, 16th, when I submitted this. So,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you could provide the.
and I've done that before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Notice the county funding, that's remained flat for 7 years now.
It was that.
Yeah. You can say it.
I attended every meeting until they doubled it. I still go.
Yes.
Does that change to different municipalities based on residents, or is it across the board?
We have asked that for 20 years. I've asked that question almost monthly. I ask every time the budget comes around, what is the formula? What's the copy of the formula?
Interesting.
Sort of random.
Yes. All right.
And we've ordered breath when it's coming. It keeps getting lower, later and later. So.
Yeah, we talked about increase in population. Now, the state has a formula that they use, and there were factors in it, but in the pandemic, they just kind of put the funding on the bottom. And as moving forward, I would expect the number of programs and the number of services we provide and the circulation, et cetera, to be on that. But it didn't come last year.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
On the 72 new library cards, did any of those come from the new development? Do you have any idea?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I don't know. You have new library cards from, that development, you have new library cards from the development that's in Duran, that borders Morristown.
That's because crossing, it's another GR.
Yeah, that's our, that's their library, where their library is.
We're part of Delrain's library. Or, no, okay, so the folks from Delrain come here.
Yeah.
I could tell you, not off the top of my head, but I can find out.
Just curious. Thank you.
Anything, Mike?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Shade Tree Committee. Commission, I should say. Hey, Bill.
I'll give this.
There's plenty of chairs here.
It's my team, vote for my team. Good, hello. Carol, it's that time of year. Well, we're not really coming here with, asking for a lot more money. I mean, last year we operated on your budget. We did well. We had a couple surprises, such as the tree lifting and landing. I don't think we budgeted for that. So, you guys miraculously made that happen, okay? We have our regular expenses, our secretary and our professional. Our bill will add lib to some of that. My big question is, do we want to do a sidewalk pilot program? The pilot is supposed to end. My feelings is everybody likes it, we want to continue, but we can't just say infinitive sidewalks, because you know as well as I do, there's, must be well over $1 million of repairs, so, whatever your budget is for. Do you want us to continue with it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It is excellent. I've been around, and of course there was a couple of quick hazards that someone may be aware of that they've been corrected. And, I mean, they look great. Now, whether or not they're going to withstand the roots over a long period of time, we don't know that. But it looks like they're holding up pretty well.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a much easier repair.
Yeah.
By repairing one, or two, or three, or couple works. By either doing it with public works, by, removing it, trimming it, putting it back down, or when the contractor comes around, whether he can do some of the repairs.
Right.
We're real happy with it,
I stopped by the 5 or 6 when they look really good.
Yeah, thank you. I do think, you might get a mad rush, there might be a lot of people that want it done right away this year. Where do we, how many will get us?
What was it, 425?
Was it 10,000?
We did 5, and it was 7,250.
Oh, okay. I guess that's.
It was 1250 a piece.
There's no finances.
We don't have the budget here?
No, he just said he wanted the same amount, he said increase for removal.
Okay, so it just was this covered.
Many years ago, when we did the ordinance, assuming, and we had a situation where people can get reimbursed, we assumed it would be a large response to that, and we set aside 25,000 capital.
Right.
Keep down every year. At this point, last year, there was 8,000 that was available on the capital to use for October. We still have some, not a lot.
How much?
For the sure I don't have that.
I know, it just gets.
But I think that's the point is that you got, my view is, my recommendation are, say, here's what you want to do, here's how much money we can do, and then you got to figure out where to get it. So it's on the basis that, well, we'll do whatever we're money for, that's generally not what we do. The way we do it is say, what do we want to do? We want to do the equal amount every year, the equivalent of, and of course, there's costs going up, so that means, as I said, we set aside 8,000 last year, they were able to do what we need to do for 750. We want to set aside another 8,000 for planning purposes, and we'll plug that in the budget, either we'll find it in the capital, or we'll find it in the operating. And that's in addition to funds that are for removals. Most of the money in their budget is for removal, emergency basis, from their list, and then formally go down against the price. And we have a lot of contracts that remove what we can afford to do, right, clear the list.
Richard, the Baylor projects actually come in less than the removal of the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So the way that we want to handle these requests is, first, the crew, the staff here goes and investigates the request, and first and foremost, the health of the tree. Okay, if it's a good tree, we're saving the lifespan of the tree. If it's, if it's for saving and the roots are an issue, then it's paving project. But we would like to see the residents buy into the program. That was the way it was initiated. The pilot was supposed to be the example for us to create a catalog of examples, such as diversions and ramping, and so we got to be careful. You know, we can't just give everybody this answer, like, okay, yeah, we'll take care of it. We're still going to do the same investigation on the tree, like Kevin, our professional, determine the health and condition of the tree. And, you know, it'll be voted on by us. But I figure we're gonna have to accumulate these requests like we did last year. And I know a couple people won't be happy, but we only have one right now in the queue. So I suppose we're gonna just kind of let them build up, but that's why it said, well, we need to know what's going to be funded.
Personally, as a member of the council committee.
Some of them are very minor lift. I just talked to Ray, they're a contractor that'll grind or lift the pad. So by the end of the day, we're all getting on like swimming in the pool.
Yeah. So I would budget the same amount unless there's an increase. Maybe you want to talk with the company that did the.
Well, we sent the bids out to 5 or 6 different vendors. I don't think any of them will have respond, except the one fellow. And, you know, he's looking forward to doing more. But I did explain to him that we still have to go through the process of, you know, bidding out and getting estimates. So he understands that.
Do you think that's worthwhile, John, to basically play the same block that we did this year? Just repeat that, as Kate says, and get a little more inertia behind the program, a little more visibility, and then a year or two down the road, see if it catches
I don't think,
on.
I'll let these guys get to it. I don't think we can go into being generous this year, like, oh, really, you want one?
Yeah.
Because we'll just go through that money with it. I still think we need to fight them off and use our best judgment, you know, which ones will be most beneficial. And, hey, after 15 years goes by, and maybe, you know, that CDBG grant money, I mean, I wish you could ask to fund that.
Yeah, they're not even, right now, HUD isn't funding what we submitted. They're not doing infrastructure as much, they want social services more. So they haven't funded, we're trying to finish the rest of the handicap grants
Right.
in town, and so far, they're only funding these bigger projects, and they're not doing infrastructure. So whether or not we're going to get the grant we submitted for this coming year.
Well, you guys have done wonders by funding your own road versus, you know, DOT, you know, so you have invested in
We're
infrastructure.
doing both. So we did DOT, and whatever they don't cover, we have a capital account that's helping, and then we're trying to pick. We've gone through that plan that we had, I believe they've been here when we did that plan, that road plan.
Yeah, every other.
And we're doing it, and
Yeah.
we're going right down the list.
There's always something going on with Delanco. I mean, like repairments, which is good to see.
Gotta keep up, otherwise they're gonna come in for a big bill and everything.
Oh, yeah. Bill, did you want to add some,
You know, we have to add something for our advisor, because the application is forced to do plans, there's probably utilization for some of the state's shapes and stuff.
Right,
We do this
so how much is that?
35.
So that's 3,500 in addition to 72 in addition to.
well, whatever.
The 72 is something we're gonna do on our end. That's what
Yeah, 72 is for the pay,
Yeah, we're gonna take care of that.
but the salary and wages was Wendy and Kevin.
So is that Kevin?
So they say 3,500 for that work in addition to the all.
Yes. We're telling you now. That's why we're here.
And how long is this good for? 3 to 5 years? 5 years.
What's his current salary?
He's
No,
charging.
no, yeah.
Hourly salary.
Bill, can you give us a quick proposal on this?
Yeah. His estimated amount for the year? Because we don't have any figures, this is what we have in shade tree. We don't have.
Get a copy of the numbers that
Do you have
we-
the numbers? Okay, then maybe you can submit a copy of that to us? Okay. And updated if it needs some,
Yeah, consultant, 7,000 last year.
Okay.
Of which 5973 was spent, with 1,026 balance as of November.
Is he charged hourly?
Didn't finish the year.
yeah.
And he's been about something, okay? I mean, every board has a professional. This man, I mean, what he says, he teaches me stuff every month, you know, and when the residents are at his road, it's nice to have a certified tree worker to back it.
I think we budgeted 7,000, we spent about 6 through October.
He says he's paid up.
Yeah, that's probably really work out that. So the 7,000, Bill's suggesting that we need to have an act plan done. This is in addition to normal consulting. So he's going to get a proposal for that, which is a fixed number to do his job, which he's saying we'll get a 3,500. So now we have to do that. There knows he'll work on it, but they have to get that to us. There's no way for him to know exactly how many times they're going to need it. But one of the things we said a number of years ago was the new ordinance and so on, that's the valuable thing we spend money on, whatever it takes. It's not something that's ever refused. It's not like, but if we needed to spend 9,000 on it, you budget the amount based on what you know, like anything else, you know what people get broken, you put a number there, same thing with engineering, planning, you take their head shot, this is their professional, it's great, you want it.
Now, the removal amount, that is an unknown.
Right, we budgeted 30,000 last year.
I don't think we're done.
Well, we did 30,190 out of 30,250. It was budgeted.
But I mean, John said there's still a few on the list.
Then they weren't in the contract?
They are. He said, okay, so top notch is
Yeah,
paid.
right. Okay. What happens is when we award, we encumber that. When the work is done, it's top notch. But from a budget standpoint, that list that's done, so there'll be a new list for next year. But one of the key things is that there's a $17,500 budget. And that's QPA, qualified person. So if we start needing to spend in one shot, emergencies are emergencies. So if there's a dead tree about to fall, is that the other thing? Or they fall, we gotta get somebody to get somebody, that's why.
Do we have?
But as soon as we get beyond that limit, now we gotta write bid specs and go out to bids and those kind of things. So, but right now, we're spending less than 10,000 on the contract piece. And so I assume we're going to continue doing that.
How long of a list do we have left for outstanding?
3 or 4. According to John's email I got last week.
Can we get a copy of that list?
Well, I finally just got a copy.
Yeah.
And I'm having a heck of a time figuring it out. Did you?
I got a copy.
Did you figure it out?
No.
It's all over.
I don't know, yellow, green.
A few months ago, I got a copy, but is there
I started driving around and looking at them. So-
I think it needs to be updated.
I think the
a,
last one we saw was from August.
and if you could submit one to
We're
the
gonna-
township, we would like to have a copy. of it.
Okay,
So
we'll
submit
take care of that at
it
our
to
meeting,
us.
and I'm also gonna sort of denote a couple of the members, maybe start following up on this list monthly. So
That'd be great.
Yeah.
we can have, because it's pretty embarrassing when the resident says, what's going on with my request? You know, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just have to do a chairman, I don't know.
But if they're approved, then what's the average timeline?
It's,
2, 3?
yeah, basically, I think the sidewalks are gonna be like, it builds up through the spring and summer, because right now we're not even seeing the budget will start coming in. And then by fall, we kind of have an idea of how many and who, what, where, when, why. And then John and Richard, they hold their magic numbers and, they get the word, usually it's the following spring that they're finishing. It's,
Well, usually,
The winner, too.
The winner.
It's the winner.
You get the best price, you know what, if you issue the purchase order in December, then if you have a mild winter, you can do it during the winter. They haven't done before spring, which is when.
Carl has volunteered to get in the bucket truck.
Where kind of trees stand now?
probably, well, they better get the one in Amber's house, because I looked at it this morning.
Yeah, they're.
There's limbs hanging up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ones that, when they get flagged as a high priority removal, that we need to start seeing them high priority, because there's some,
Correct.
like a year later, and high priority, but
It's still there.
there.
But we're
I know
getting,
those are on the table.
we're getting a lot of new challenges, solar panels, and they want to treat down, and, it's, quite an interesting science, but you guys have to be tree loggers, you do, Don't turn your back on my trees now.
They don't look
I
straight.
have flags clear stuff on my lawn.
You got that tree down across the street.
Yeah, that was a shame. I hated to see that tree go.
Well, hopefully they rebuild that house.
Yeah, when they redo the house, maybe we can put something nice there.
But one thing on the budget, you're not gonna have that Newton's Landing tree lifting this year. That's
Done.
It's not gonna happen every year now if they're starting to, you're not gonna get bottom branches. The bottom branches that do come.
Big on the elevator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should be able to prune them ourselves.
We should.
Saplings.
100%.
Is that the word? Sapling?
They're suckers. I thought they were called suckers.
Yeah,
Sapling sounds
I know.
but you know how it is, I've been on that side, you give us the money, we don't spend it, you move it around, so. We just wanna keep
Well, we just
money.
put
Yeah,
back in the surplus.
we just wanna keep the residents happy, but we wanna use good science, so. Carl, Amber, anything? No?
You set it all.
Did you find a,
secretary?
No, didn't know we were looking for one.
No, what was?
A new member?
Yeah.
No.
No, somebody had expressed interest, but I never heard anything. I invited her to come to the meeting Wednesday to take a look or see if it's something she would, I don't know who she is, so we'll start it out, let her come to the meeting.
We'll find out when you do.
Yeah, and say, do you know, I mean, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about it.
Yeah, yeah, she really reached out to any of us that I know.
Okay, but some of the angry residents have quelled with the sidewalk paver project because we do have answers. We have answers.
Right.
Yes, we do.
And there's an example. They can go and take a look and see.
Now,
And it's decent, it kind of blends in with the sidewalk.
outside of my store, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I paid him to fix it.
Did it?
Oh,
It's
my
just
God.
a sink in.
Even though it's my neighbor's property, while I had him, I said, look, I'm gonna pay you to do this. Because I know the church had asked, anybody here go to that church?
Yeah, Don.
They had asked me about fixing theirs, and.
Right by that big tree out by the.
Yeah.
When you hire them privately, it's not that big. It's better than government.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works?
Oh, yeah.
One per gallon wage.
But do you want to continue to call it the sidewalk pilot program? Or do you want to call it something else that let's suggest maybe sidewalk enhancement, project? Get rid of pilot?
I think it's good, you want to call it,
Yeah, but usually
Set-
pilot ends.
Yeah, drop the pilot.
Yeah, pilots, there's some pilots in town that have been 20 years, some of them are up now, so pilots don't end after a year. I mean, we
Well,
can,
they were 20-year pilots.
yeah, that
That's
was, I
different
know,
pilot,
that's a different pilot. What I'm saying is you can have a pilot last longer than a year, I think.
We know
But
it
it's up
works,
to
so.
you.
Whatever you want to call it, it's
Whatever you
good.
want to call it, it's fine.
So we want to change it? Sidewalk enhancement, beautification project?
You guys decide that, you let us know.
We will.
Just
We'll send
send us
you
out-
send us-
Send us your comments.
Yeah, send us the numbers, please.
Yeah, send us your numbers. This is very nice, John, but it's,
Listen, I've been over there, I know what you guys did. You'll change it, add it, subtract it. That's why I didn't put too much effort into it.
Well,
we're good
we
on-
have to see the-
We'd like to see numbers, numbers.
We're good on funding for Kevin and the forestry renewal plan, right? And for the tree removals, we're staying with the same number.
Well, we have to wait till we do budget for the
He
figures.
definitely got issues last month, had all that.
Shouldn't emergency removals be in John's budget though? I mean, because he puts his public works guys out in the middle of the night.
But it's dealing with trees, dealing with trees now. You're talking about what you control, but the budget should be connected to the operation. If tree is involved, then we'll start. If you look 15 years ago, there was $5,000 there because that's all it was, knowing, so that's why there's now $40,000. Because of deal with trees, that's where it was charged.
Okay. Very good, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week. Hi, Janice.
Hey, JB.
Have a good night.
Hey, are we on camera?
We are.
Oh, yeah.
OEM, Rob? Oh, Rob's here. We'll let him get a night off of work. It looks like he's sleeping, so.
I got done work this morning at 7, we go back in at 11, with 11 to 3. That's why I've got to be asleep.
Thank you for your service. I put the budget together.
Go back is the budget numbers. Two sides. Oh, yeah.
We'll have that Thursday. When I put this together, the numbers, yeah, it's on the back of the email.
I've just been using my copy instead of having a separate copy.
We put the numbers together from the budget previous years. The numbers really weren't, I'd say, spent fully or mostly at all. So, with Rob and I new in the role, so OEM coordinator, deputy OEM coordinator, we did put some things in this year which we don't expect to happen every year. We need laptops, the laptop.
Is that what we're talking?
That's one for 20, we took out of the 23 budget and we have the second one. Yeah, for 24. Yeah, that's why I put that in. Yeah, so when we have the emergency operation center in effect, we're able to both operate, we're going to dispatch and the logs and so on and so forth. The big budget number that's in here was the Emergency Preparedness Conference, which is in April.
It's April 22nd through the 26th.
Yeah, and
in Atlantic City.
yeah, that it really hasn't gone to that in a number of years. It's very going for forever, and I think with both of us in the role new for this year, it would be important for us to go down there. I don't think it's an every year thing at all, but I think just to get caught up with all the latest and greatest things and the new classes that they have out there, it's important. Putting monies for brochures and handouts for the community day and anything else that's needed for that, and we just have a miscellaneous bucket for 250 and that may come up throughout the year. Normally the budget was $1,500. It's not, the percentage wise, it's a big increase from $100.
So really, the only increase is to cover the conference.
Correct. Yeah.
The only other thing is also, we did the budget, it's $200 per person for registration fee for the conference. That expires this Friday. After this Friday, the registration fee does go up another $50 per person, so $250.
So,
We have temporary budget.
yeah. So you have the information so that they can register me?
Yeah, I guess we just issue a PO. I'll talk to Janice.
Janice,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll figure that out.
All right.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah. I have no questions. No, nothing.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Thanks for your service.
Thank you,
Rob.
Rob.
Appreciate it.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah.
EAD. Welcome back.
We're kind of. You all have the right, right?
We do.
Yes, okay. Okay, so we're just requesting $1,100 this year, just for a couple items. The next track bench that we got from collecting the plastic, we'd like to place that with some concrete pads, so $500 for that. We'd like to do like a springtime giveaway, like Earth Day or Arbor Day. Those in April, tree giveaway, $200 for that. Last year we started hosting speaking events at the library. different environmental related topics. So we're just requesting $100 for that, just for like refreshments, things like that. Community day, each year we like to do certain giveaways, raffles. Last year we did a great job on a composter. So we're requesting $200 for that. Sorry I didn't win that.
Those are great. They look great.
Yeah, they're good. And then every year we give out an award for the 8th grade graduation. So $100 for that.
Did you get a quote for the concrete pad for the bench?
We did. Where is it somewhere?
Commercial concrete, Club Route 130.
Okay.
Down over
Precast concrete.
and or something down there.
Other cast pads, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Precast.
You're pouring.
Yeah, precast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
2 of them to make it handicap compliant.
Right.
I'll find you where they mentioned.
Good.
We have several of them in town. I mean, even one.
I know. She's a
They-
flexible machine. Yeah.
They put up the top lot at the sign.
Yeah.
And the library has two.
Yeah.
And one for
She did.
They're still plenty in the library.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it in town again? Or are they still?
Sensitive. They're making it a lot harder. You have to like submit pictures and a lot of other stuff.
You have to take a picture of the plastic bag.
Yeah, each time it's kind of silly.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know how they differentiate.
Yeah, that's where,
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, that was really a great project.
Yeah.
And amazing to continue.
Yeah, she did a great job. Yeah. Did you have any questions?
I don't.
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you.
So much for the office.
I know.
Peter, history roll.
Okay. Good, you have that.
Yeah,
We do.
I do have a preliminary statement, maybe we'll make some things clear. I don't want some extra copies if anybody wants. Yeah. Now, did you all get this simplified copy of the budget? Yes? That, oh, okay. Well, this says the same thing as that, except that it's only by categories, where this is by activity and, et cetera.
Like this one, it's more detailed.
Okay, good, all right. So, let me start with my little thing here. You have the budget proposal in your hands. It shows the budget and the actuals for 2023 and a proposed budget for 2024. And the other one that I prepared was simplified to show spending just by category, and you have the itemized report which shows not just our ordinary budget for 2023 and our proposal, but it also shows you on the flip side, if you have the flip side, it has it's one side. You didn't do the other one. Oh, I did.
I have 2 pages.
You have 2 pages, okay.
No, it's the same thing.
If you need the back side, I did make some extra copies. We kind of put those around. But it also shows the CHPP grant budget that we got for last year. Okay. Right. It just the grant budget for last year, and it shows the budget for this year, which has not been approved. And it shows a separate budget for Babe Ruth Day, because our budget is kind of weird because every other year we have this influx of capital with the Babe Ruth Day, and the next year we're sort of a lean year because we don't have the extra event. So we sort of treat that like a separate budget, so it doesn't obfuscate the ordinary budget.
So it looks like the budget from last year, besides Babe Ruth, is the same as this. The account for the request of the allocation.
Yeah, but that's what's on. Okay. DHB has been very careful in its spending. We were budgeted for $2,500 in 2023, and we overspent our budget by $18. Peter. Our CHP grant budget came in exactly what our budgeted amount, which was $4,800. We've received a great deal of support and participation from the community, and we appreciate the Township Committee's continued national support to make all of this happen. Our budget request for 2024 was prepared in November and approved by our board in December. And it was prepared based on our historical spending patterns, and it represents our ordinary activities for 2024. It's laid out by category. You have the detail, and many of these projects were carried over from 2023. Note that the largest expense category continues to be print production and of historical and educational materials, $1375 that we spent in 2023. And I requested $1,000 for 2024. Put a pin in this. 2024 is the Centennial Babe Ruth exhibition in Delanco, which we'll celebrate on September 7th. The budget for this event is not included in our ordinary budget. We anticipated expenses of $2,080, mostly in program printing, and $4,400 in ad revenue, netting $2324 in revenue. Put a pin in this. We have been approved for the CHPP grant in 2024. Anticipated expenses for the project package were $7,619, funded by $5,629 from the CHPP grant and $1,900 from anticipated revenue in the Babe Ruth Day ad program. That's pin number 3. Back to the pins. Since we were approved and submitting our grant, we have lost our longtime printer, Good Impressions, in Riverside. And before I did the budget, let me interject here, before I did the budget, I went to Kathy Price and I got prices for all of the, I think it's 9 publications that we had. And I said, what does it cost for each of these things, for 100 copies of each of these things? And based on that, I was able to put the budget together. So, so we lost our printer because Bob Price died, and his daughter decided not to continue the business. So we are currently interviewing local printers and comparing prices to those that we had from Good Impressions. We recently learned that Good Impression prices were far below the current industry standards. I charted the print costs for Good Impressions against the quotes from Sir Speedy in Pennsauken, from MPAC Printing in Edgewater Park, and Joy Budget Print in Cinnaminson, and all based on 100 reprints for our 9 titles. So if you take all of the, and this is just for some comparison's sake, this isn't necessarily what we're going to print next year, but for comparison's sake, that if we printed 100 copies of everything, but Good Impressions would have been $1,608. And now we have new quotes from Joy Budget Print, which is now $3,100. Sir Speedy was $3,401. MPAC was $5,860. Now, I'm still contacting printers, but I'm kind of running out at this point. I want to check Burlington Press, because I understand that they do pretty good work, and maybe their prices are better.
Also, Bartlett Printing up in Burlington, no relation whatsoever.
I wonder if the college still has,
Well, the college does. They still have something going on.
Yeah, they do.
If they're capable of printing this kind of thing. We have used them for the volunteer center for Lincoln County.
Right.
When we have done programs and things. And I I should check into that.
You should
That's
check
all.
into that.
Use the idea
And
we have to
you
print it out.
should also check into difference in the total amount, like 100 versus 500, or 100 versus 350.
They tell me it doesn't make much difference now. It used to be that you would get a price for 100, and then you get a price for 500, and then you get a price for 1,000, and you could see a difference.
Yeah.
But at some point, the printer said that they don't print things the way that they print things. They put it on the machine electronically. They crank out 50 copies of it, and they go on to the next job. The next job is set up in a matter of moments. So they said, instead of putting all of this stuff in inventory, buying massive quantities and putting it in inventory, that it's much more cost effective if you just get what you need and just leave a little lead time to get it done, and then they can do it. And the prices, they don't like to do it one at a time, but you know, when you get beyond 50, 100 copies, it's about the same. So, if I had known about this increase, I would definitely have requested a $500 increase in our township request, which is, you saw in there, we put it for $2,500. But now, because of the print situation, I would like to amend it. I would like to recommend that we add $500 to our program request, and that we put that directly on the print production line, which will help us out in a lot of ways. Now, I did some research, and we haven't asked for an increase since 2020. For 4 years, we've asked for the same amount of money. And this is clearly short-sighted on my part. Where the prices were going up around us, I was asked for the same amount of money year after year, and if I had been a little more incremental about this whole thing, it would have been a larger step, so that's on me. Given the situation with the printing increases, and given that producing and distributing our print materials for free is a major educational mission now, in my opinion, we need to be looking for an increase in this year's budgets and revising. I also have concerns about the anticipated net for Babe Ruth Day, considering that it is totally dependent upon ad sales in the printing program. Ad sales were about $200 a page. The ads were about $200 a page in our last book, which was a 48-page program. And we have been guaranteeing distribution of 500 copies of the program for each year's event to date, with the stipulation that whatever we don't distribute at the event, we will distribute during the course of the year, and we always have. We always run out, but we keep 10 for the whole year for samples, but they always go. So, where does that leave us? Do we double our ad prices? I don't think that will work. Do we cut the number of pages? Well, then we also cut your advertising. Do we cut the number of books that we print and not guarantee 500 copies, maybe guarantee 400 copies? I don't know. Yeah. So we're dependent, and I want to remind everybody, we're dependent on the net revenue from the ad book to supplant the cost of the CHPP Phase 2 project this year, because we have to cover the capital expenses for some of that stuff. And it's only about $1,900 something, $2,000 basically that we have to cover, but I have to cover that some of it. And in the net of the Babe Ruth Day thing, it's fine, but if the ad book expenses run way up, I'm going to have to make some adjustments. So I think that's about where we are. And I don't think I've ever come in and asked for a budget adjustment at this meeting. But I only got the last two of these quotes this afternoon. I got one over 4:30. So I just started hyperventilating when I saw these price quotes, and I've got the paperwork on all of it. And it's so I have it for comparison. Now that's not to say we're going to print all 100 copies of all 9 for the year. Right now, there's maybe 4 of them where we're starting to run a little short, and it would be good to get this stuff fairly recently. But we do know we're going to do the Babe Ruth Day thing, and have to do the Babe Ruth Day. And so I just want to make sure there's enough money in the budget to put these materials out. I did have a conversation with this last printer today, Joy Budget Print in Cinnamons, and we talked about the paper quality that we've been using. That if we don't use coated stock on the interior of the booklets as we have for some of our booklets in the past, we get them a little bit cheaper. And I will say that right now Joy Print is the cheapest of the comparative quotes that I've gotten so far. If I could beat it, it's well. If I can't, it's higher, but it's not like, gaspingly high. So I guess that's where we are. So I'm happy to talk about any of our programs. I'm really proud of the new program that we started at Fern's suggestion, that we do the third Saturday open house here in the Township Building. And thank you to Matt and Kate and Fern for coming to the first one that we had on the 17th. And we see a lot of potential in that, but every expansion we have on the program.
How many people came out other than people?
Altogether there were 14 people there, but part of that was because I also called at the committee meeting of the volunteers to plan to participate so that we could do some brainstorming. So we had some people that came in from the outside, not many, and our own people that were there that kind of got trained up in where the displays are and how they do the presentations and kind of docent training that we did. So it was good that we did it. It happened to be the day we had 4 inches of snow. But we did go ahead and do it anyway, and the snow pretty much had gone away by the time we got to the afternoon. But we're happy about that. I think we're happy about all of our programs. Looking forward to the grant for this year and the work that we're doing. But if anybody has any questions or suggestions, I'll be happy to hear them.
The question I had with the Babe Ruth expenses and the increase of the printing costs, you considered that when you considered your printing of the program?
Well, what you had in your hand there was prepared in the middle of December.
Right.
We didn't know about the printing problem. Now that we know about the printing problem, that's the one expense that will fly. Right. So I have to find, some way of doing something with that particular thing. I've been trying to hold on to, I think that program has more value when we have historical material in the program as well as advertising, so it doesn't come off of a penny saver.
Correct.
So what I've said is 50%, that we won't sell more than 50% in ads. And maybe we have to let that swing a little bit and put in a couple more ads to cover the costs.
Show you the right.
What are the other costs other than printing the booklet that we incur for?
They're on the back of that sheet.
For
Baker,
just for Baker.
Yeah.
The teams.
Okay.
Yes, that's the
The
biggest
teams
thing.
were only, yeah.
And what we had done was,
Designing,
we did have this stipend that we paid for each of the teams that helps them with travel expenses. One of the teams this year's coming from Delaware, and the other one's coming from Florida, I believe.
yeah, and then I know, Dyson was there selling,
Yes, it was actually
Del Red, Dyson, they were selling hot dogs.
which was a wonderful project. The benefit to us was not financial, but it was that we had the service there that helped people to carry over for the second game that we had in the doubleheader,
Right.
where they might have gone elsewhere and not come back. We didn't have that, so we were very thankful that we did it. And I've already talked to Carolyn about doing that again this year.
Yeah.
And so that's good for them. They make some money to get the service. I don't look at that as income. And we have exhibits there from other historical groups, and so that's really where our expenses are for that guy.
So you're asking for, 3,000 this year?
Yes, I think I'd like to modify it, and if you just scratch out of the budget there, instead of $1,000 for printing, then we would do $1,500 for printing, and then the other figure that would change would be from $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay.
And other than that, I think the rest of it we can stand behind. And as you know, this stuff is sort of fungible, so we do our best to figure out how the money's going to be spent, but as the year progresses and stuff comes in over the transom, and we deal with it, we make adjustments, and we usually come out almost square by the end of the year, so.
Yeah. I don't think you've ever gone over.
Yeah, well, we have a little bit, but
Sometimes they're under.
the $18,
Yeah.
$18 this year.
But then they makes up for that,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I've been on there for long enough to know how to spend that money, so.
Yeah.
Well spent.
Yeah, we're sort of squeaky about it,
Yeah.
so.
Anyone have any questions for Peter?
Other than, you tie in with the school in, doing the walking tour and get
Yes.
those books into the school.
Yes, I had a meeting with the new superintendent. I got a letter of introduction from Mr. Mercier when he was leaving, thanking us for working with the school, and then introducing me to the new superintendent, and said that he had already told the new superintendent about things that we were doing. And the new superintendent contacted me within a couple of weeks, set up a meeting. I was there with both principals and him, and there was somebody else there, I think Child Services or something like that, I'm not sure. We gave them 50 copies of the tour book that has the county bug on it, indicating that it was paid for by the county. Right. So what they said they would do is they would maintain that as a set of books instead of just giving them away. They would keep them as a set. And when the history classes were going to be the section on local history, they would use the books. They have committed to going out and doing the walking tour when the weather gets better. And they'll take the books and they'll go around. They did ask us to do like a introductory thing for the kids before they do the thing. And they talked to us about maybe meeting them at certain locations along the way or something to do a special presentation about the shoe factory.
That's great.
So it's nice that they're thinking that way. My only problem right now is we had already given them a set of 50 books that we had paid for that didn't have the bug on it. And my stipulation to Mr. Mercier when I gave it to him was, I'll give these to you for right now, but as soon as we get the ones from the county, I want to swap them out. And he said, that's fine. Nobody can find them. So they had the original set, and I'm still hoping that...
Hopefully people are reading them every day.
Well, I can't tell you, this is very interesting, the Triangle project that we did for the grant last year. We have a lit box and the new bench.
Right.
And every Friday, I go out and I check that lit box. And eight or nine books, 8, 9, or 10 books have gone out every week since we started that about 6 weeks ago. And one of the things it tells me is we're going to have to do a reprint. And what I'm going to try to do is to wrangle it so that we can swap out some of what we plan to do for the grant, swap it out for printing, reprinting costs, so that we won't have to bear the cost of another grant. And there's some things that were maybe a lower priority.
Yeah, I thought you were including a nice print job with the grant.
We did for 2023, but we didn't in 2024.
Okay.
There was no provision in there for reprint. We didn't realize they were going to be going out that fast. We did a second printing right at the end of the year, and that's, we're starting to run out of those. We'll be on those before
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that people like the material. And I get phone calls from the township. They say, oh, somebody was here, they were looking for a book and things like that. So,
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, everybody. Special thanks to Fern for being our liaison this year. And we have nice discussions as things get along.
I've got big shoes to fill.
Oh, yeah, big shoes to fill, right?
I guess I've been on there since the beginning.
Yeah, it's been,
Yeah.
the history of history.
I was there, yeah, and I made the sheet, your cheat sheet, and asked me to add some notes to it. So I will, because there are some things that should be added.
Yeah.
And I noticed even with the quilt, like, they need to know that the quilt won the award, that I retyped the other thing that the county actually said, I typed it and printed it out on the scroll thing. So there's some things I'm gonna add to your cheat sheet.
Very good.
So when people come, there'll be a little bit better explanation, and I hope to be here as well. I wouldn't mind helping out with.
Very good. I think we could use one more person for March 16th. Right now we have two. And our deal with you guys is that we have three. So.
Okay, well, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll probably be there.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks for listening.
Next up is Dice at Del Rio. Come on up, Saber.
Okay.
Come on up, Carolyn.
Come on up, Carol, I'm here.
Hello.
I don't know if everybody knows Saber,
Introduce yourself.
the new president of Dyson.
She's a new
Yeah, yeah.
Monica
She's,
Pancakes.
yeah. She's doing a great job, let me tell you that, right now.
Really are.
Commissioner of basketball and also serves on the Riverside Board of Education. Wears many hats. I think somewhere you have a full-time job too.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky to have.
We'll
Yeah.
continue.
Hey, you're gonna walk down our level.
Yeah.
I'm a little mayor, excuse me for a second.
So I am still the treasurer of Delanco Township. I took over for Matt last spring. I just want to first start off with our enrollment data. So last year in 2023, for our soccer program, we had 166 participants, down 10 from the previous year, which isn't bad. Basketball, we had this previous year, which is still happening right now, 218 registrations. And there are six different age groups for that. In 2022-23, we had 203, so we were up 15. Spring sports, which is t-ball, baseball, Babe Ruth, and softball. 2023, we had 212, down from 227 previous year. And registration is ongoing right now. That will start at the end of March, April. And then actually we had a fall softball program, which is fairly new to the organization. We had 3 teams last year, 36 participants, up from 11, so we tripled that.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a great,
That's really great.
great program. They were really excited to have that in the fall.
Most people are asking
Yeah.
already about it.
And we did have, I think, 4 or 5 sponsors that actually absorbed the cost of that, so it didn't cost the organization anything to participate in that. Every year, we are lucky to have Riverside and Delanco contribute $5,000 each to the, we call it the municipal grant line. I'm looking on page 1 of here, our budget versus actuals. So we get $5,000 from each town, and Delanco also absorbs the cost of the insurance for the organization as well. You can see our program income there. Our budget and our numbers came in pretty similar to fall soccer. Basketball was actually exceeded by 4,000. Spring sports were up 5,000. And of course, fall softball was a tremendous amount more. Our business sponsorships were right on par with what we wanted to do, about $6,700 for 2023. We had about $900 in individual donations. Our fund drive, which is actually letters that get mailed out to both Riverside and Delanco residents. We budgeted for 6, we came in at 53, which is great considering the state of affairs right now in our economy. Our concession stand, we operated both concession stand at Walmsley Field and at West Avenue. We brought in about $12,000 in stand sales. We were able to run the stand, have that open pretty frequently, so we exceeded our $7,000 budget. Going down to our expenditures, we have your normal government fees, league registration fees, accounting, fingerprinting. All of our coaches are fingerprinted, and the results are sent to Delanco Police, and they make sure our coaches are in compliance with the guidelines to be a coach in the organization as well. Anything else that really stands out? We hope to have a bingo event and another fundraising event, major fundraising event this year. It helps offset the cost of running the organization and of course keep registration costs down for the residents as well. we have the lowest registration, I believe, in all the towns that participate in our league, so we like to keep it affordable for the kids. So we hope to continue to have those events this year. We're looking for someone to run those events and handle our fundraising. Do we have a candidate that might be able to take care of that? So obviously our concessions and expenses were up what we budgeted because our revenue is up. We also did a couple events outside of the concession stand. We did a few concert events, some other public events as well that we would do. I think we did police. Was it the police last year?
Yeah.
Cookout with the cop. Yeah, we did cookout with the cop last year, which was really a fun event and well received. What else here? Basically, the thing that jumps out at me every year is the cost of these lights. And we're excited that the town is going to move forward with the project to have these soccer field lights. Where are they?
Around 10,000.
10.5, right?
Yeah.
It's under equipment.
Page 2, very top.
Yeah. There we go. I have pictures on me. So you're missing it, so I'll just kind of explain it to you. That's okay, Richard. We'll still keep going. Our soccer equipment right now for the lights for all the fields, we budgeted 8,500, came in at 10,200. We actually were working with Diamond, and they decided to jack our prices up exponentially. So we had to go with a different vendor, United Vinyls, and that's why it went up that much money. Our field usage fees were up a little bit because I think we put some other expenses in that, but we're looking forward to not having to spend the 10,000 on lights every year, and we're really grateful to the town for moving that forward. Nothing else really on here. Uniforms come in right at where we budgeted. Basketball is actually under, soccer was under what we budgeted by half. The coaches and the commissioners really do a nice job of really keeping tight on their budgets. The uniforms, they really try to be frugal with their numbers. Yeah, so I guess Sabra can kind of take over here. She can kind of give you a state of affairs if you have everything to add, or maybe I can talk to you. I have nothing to add.
Well, outside of the budget, we've kind of been working on just the organization itself. And we built a whole calendar with different dates there, like even all the dates for what's going on at Delanco, what's also going on at Riverside. Planning to get out in front of people and just be a little bit more involved in the community outside of just offering sports and and invite parents and kids to come and participate, just in that setting. So, we want to go to float for the parades this year, and like little things that are going to get us a little bit more attention. We can keep our registration costs down, but also still continue to bring more kids and more families into our program. It adds more money to our budget. We did find a person that's going to help us kind of working on our participation and retention, and then how that can directly affect our fundraising. And hopefully we'll be looking more towards some grants as well, something that we really haven't done to the best of my knowledge in the past, to make sure that we are kind of checking all the different things that are happening in the sports, just kind of nationally, recreation, and just be able to bring in more funding so we can have more programs like we would look at volleyball, to kind of match up with the schools are offering in the area. And there's other sports that we would like to be a little bit more inclusive with, like unified sports and stuff like that. So all that's going to cost money. So we don't want to continue to raise our registration to help those costs. Last year we didn't really do too much fundraising outside of the mailers and sponsors and stuff like that. So we were looking at doing a few fundraising. We have fall feast, golf outing, a Monte Carlo night, murder mystery night, bag bingo, and maybe possibly drive through bingo. So those are the ideas that we're having. We just gotta kind of put everything together
see which one we'll choose, and then we hope to kind of continue that every year on a specific date and have a calendar, everything set.
So on top of just running a sports program, we also have to be a marketing team as well, because the registrations continue to decrease every year because kids are more involved with video games, and it's tough to get your kids out and wanting to play sports. And we're also competing with the travel programs as well. I think our organization is seen as a lot of times feeder programs to the high school, so it's really important to have that established foundation in order to feed these high school programs and ultimately feed college programs. So we have to market ourselves and really do recruiting essentially, right? And I think you're really good at that, being boots on the ground.
The monthly letter that you're sending out is just incredible.
Sabra's done a nice job. She's been the president for just a couple months, and she's really, I want to say, tried to turn this organization around to be more formal and more, not just shoot from the hip kind of thing, you know?
I like organized, stuff, and it helps everyone else. And we definitely, I mean, we've been speaking about it, and a lot of the people that are still involved in Del Rib, you know, we really want to continue to reach out and bring more people and families. And, you know, for me, my kind of, the idea is not to just be about the sports, but just the community itself. Sports and sports and recreation can go a lot of different ways, so we really would love to kind of expand and be at some of these things. Like we want to do like a March Madness watch night at like Turner, so we're trying to really kind of add different things in the community that not just the kids, but the parents, families, everyone can participate in. Keep it very low cost. Basketball, we do 3 or 4 free clinics a year, hoping to get a volleyball clinic started so you can see the interest in the townships with it.
We know the adults love the volleyball.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, because the Riverside is considering starting a middle school program as well. But a lot of the times what I hear from the kids are, I can't wait to try volleyball in high school. So we want to be able to get out in front of that and give them an opportunity to try it. Learn how to, you know, play the game, and then when they get to high school, the high school team has an opportunity to be successful. So we're working on trying to make the space as far as with our budget and, you know, everything else that we're doing, get more volunteers, so that we can expand. So we're working on the volunteers and working on our budget, our fundraising, all that first, and then hopefully we can build out from there.
If you're able to come up with that answer for volunteers. Let us
So
know.
for basketball, because it's been very, I got some weekly email from the Del Rib organization, but for basketball, I also do the same thing. And I've just been inviting parents, so like this year, we're doing our first banquet. For Del Rib, I think they used to do it for Beza and Bryant when they had them. But it's our first basketball banquet that we're hosting, and I've already had 2 parents tell me they'll make all the food. So we're working on just the awards that we give, and, you know, we're holding it at Riverside, so we didn't spend any money on our venue as well, which is awesome. So.
And you started doing a coach of the week, trying to acknowledge volunteers, so they know they're appreciated.
Yeah, so we're trying to do what we can. I'll also honor our volunteers for basketball at the banquet, not just the kids. I have a bunch of high schoolers that kind of follow me around all the time for basketball purposes. And so they come to the gym every Sunday, and they have 2 that coach the league. The rest of it, they run the clock, so I never have to worry about, you know, asking and begging parents to do it. The high school kids will stay the whole day. We feed them around 12 o'clock, and it's been very good for us. Riverside reached out about the cleanup days, which I think we have to think about. But one is the day of sports night.
Okay. That might sound right.
It might, but they've reached out about getting involved with helping us. I've also spoken with the high school because they have a sports marketing and management program that they started. And so when we get ourselves kind of a little bit more organized, we would like to be able to offer internships and some job experience, kind of helping out in the setting without marketing. learning from the various people who are in the organization doing things. So that connects us a little bit better with Riverside. And then again, we still have volunteers, but we don't have to rely solely on volunteers that have families, work, and all the other things, so.
I just wanted to point out real quick, I also reached out to Megan Jack from Riverside and once again asked her to help contribute to the insurance of the organization because we have pretty big registration from Riverside now as the organizations combined. I didn't hear back from that. I don't know where they stand. I don't know if you heard anything.
I kind of just looked at that email and realized we never got a response.
No.
So I also decided to help out with the rec committee at Riverside, their building.
In your free time?
Yeah. So I was at, the meeting, but they asked me to make a list of what we need, and I think that's something that we should put on there.
Yeah.
That helps us out a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
maybe they can contribute, it would be nice if they contribute something.
Yeah.
But I think the basketball clinics that you did, from when I was at the last meeting, you could see where the kids are definitely, their skill sets are improving from the clinics, and that was a wonderful thing that you started doing. It was really,
One of the other towns actually commented that we were almost too competitive.
yeah, yeah,
They're really taking a lot of pride in it, so.
yeah.
And we've also, like, for basketball, we're developing curriculum. Our coaches are free to use it. They want to just use what they know in their knowledge. That's okay too. We're building back in, doing the CPR AD certification, the Rutgers coaching certification. I'm currently in class taking sports administration classes, so I actually started today. So,
Again, you're making it free time.
So I mean, I have a lot of hope and just kind of passion about really building the sports and recreation programs for youth in the community.
Well, I think you aren't you in the Hall of Fame at Riverside High for basketball?
Don't be shy.
I think, isn't it basketball, isn't there another sport too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's quite the athlete.
She's competed overseas as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky to have you in this capacity, because you're doing a wonderful job, and it's good.
Yeah, change doesn't happen overnight, but we're off to a start.
Yeah.
I've been on the board for about a year now, but I'm still at every Sunday for basketball. And you get to see the improvement year over year of the students, the players, and the program itself. Nice job, Tim.
Yeah.
We're looking to add more policy and stuff, because you know how the gym is starting.
Oh, yeah. I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
No, so there's a lot of things that we are lacking right now that I'm also kind of underneath the surface, building in. We did our bylaws and everything, which we should be able to present tomorrow night at our meeting. And with our league, I think we need to have bylaws just for the league for basketball. So just doing a bunch of different things like that, researching and trying to figure out what's the best way to move forward and keep the program, in a space where, whether it's me or anyone else, there's a way to run it that benefits the community and stuff. So that's the main goal, is getting to that space. Then anybody can volunteer for maybe an hour, 10 hours, and come know what they're doing, and everybody will be happy, hopefully.
Awesome. Thanks, Edward. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Sorry.
What are your registration fees?
Registration fees for basketball, we charge 65 for our 3rd through 5th grade and 6th through 8th grade league, and we charge 45 for our pre-K to 2nd graders. And then after specific dates, we add a late fee of $10. I believe for soccer it was 95.
Yeah.
For the ages U8 to U14, and then the minis were 65. Baseball, there's so many different prices for that.
But they're all under $100.
Yeah, they're all under $100, except for, I think, baby.
Yeah, baby was a little more.
Yeah, that's the only one that's expensive. Everything's like 90, 70.
You mentioned something, unified sports. What is
Yes,
that?
unified sports is a combination of athletes who are,
Handicapped.
yeah,
disabilities.
special needs. And then also, just, regular students or athletes, they work together, to help each other kind of learn, play sports together. So it's something that happens at the high school, Riverside, just added unified bowling, I work at soccer, we have bowling, basketball, and track and field for special needs, the Olympics and stuff. That's huge. So I want to be able to add a program in there like that to give the younger, because at the high school level you can do it, but where can
The younger.
kids do it? And so I want to be able to be more inclusive and add them in. And so that's a process I'm working with, and talking to, Riverside, Manager Jackie Williams, so I've been like just kind of doing research right now, trying to figure out how we can add something like that. And I would obviously do track and field first because it's the lowest.
What happens if Riverside does not contribute either the insurance or what you count on, 5,000?
We'll continue to fundraise. I believe they, I guess they didn't tell us that they want to contribute.
They have contributed the past several years to 5,000, like we know that's guaranteed. The insurance is over and above what they normally give, but they do allocate to, I think, the Rams too.
Yeah, and if they don't, I mean, our goal really is to fundraise, more than we did last year, and certainly probably more than we've done in the past as well. Like we want to be able to keep our costs low, so even with the township contribution, we still need to fundraise.
I was just wondering if the commitment at Riverside wasn't there.
Yeah, it would just make our job harder as far as.
Yeah, we have to fundraise $5,000 more.
So Delanco basically supports the sports program or contributes to supporting the sports program for both communities, and Riverside as a municipality does not. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, they're contributing. Riverside's contributing. They have contributed for the last few years.
This says you haven't. Yeah.
No, we reached out for them to add.
Right.
Because Delanco pays the.
Both towns give 5,000, that's guaranteed.
Right.
But Delanco pays for the insurance for
Okay.
We're trying to add that they pay.
Has given, okay.
Yes.
It sounds like they haven't done that yet.
They
Okay.
haven't paid half, they pay.
If they pay the 5,000, they pay that.
And we use their fields.
Yes, Walmsley.
Walmsley.
And their schools. We actually have their school more than we have our school.
Yeah, basketball, we play all our games there, and again, they're giving us the auditorium, the cafeteria for our banquet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's a different entity between the township and the school board, right, or the school. They're two different entities,
so
right?
the school board is responsible for the
school.
basketball court, and then the township is Walmsley Field and any other fields that we do. We usually have no issue.
Yeah, I mean, they've always given, when it was Riverside Youth Sports, they've always given them 5,000, so it's never been an issue that they haven't contributed.
The goal is just to get the other half.
Right, to get the other half, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Recreation.
There's our major hat.
Change your hat.
Anyone else out there? We can get more chairs if you need.
Stage.
Actually, he is back there. All right. Good evening, everyone.
So it is like two people for the commission?
Right, three.
Three.
We got Carol,
Alyssa.
Alyssa, and Kristen.
We're right there. All right. Who would like to start?
Okay. We've submitted our budget to you guys. And actually, from here, I'm gonna have Steve take over to break down everything for you, or if you have any questions for him.
All right. Felix.
I'll just start off by saying that 2023, Commissioner Fields was another successful year. We're very proud of the programs and the facilities that we offer to the Delanco residents. And we partner with a lot of entities in town to make our programs a success as well as our facilities. And one of those entities being, of course, the Township Committee, who support, meeting every year in order to offer the programs that we do. And we're very appreciative of the support that the committee has given to us in the past. For 2024, we're proposing, I'll start from the top and just go straight down. We're not proposing any support, monetary support for the recreation summer camp. It is self-sustaining. Aaron Provenzano and Linda Huffin have done a really good job with the management and coordination of the program. We don't feel that any monetary support from the commission is needed this year. They have a healthy surplus, and they're doing a really good job. And we look forward to continuing that program in partnership with the Dobbins Methodist Church, who provides the facility at varying cost. Bookkeeping software and services is $400. We're keeping that the same. It is for our bookkeeping software. Administration, miscellaneous administration expenses, $1,000, for a total administration budget of $1,400. Going right into programming, the egg hunt, we're proposing $1,200. Memorial Day Parade, we're proposing $6,500. Summer concert series, we're proposing to keep that steady at $10,000. Community Day and Fall Fest, we're asking for a bump there because we are planning some additional things to add to the event to help expand it and grow it, and also attract more residents to it. We feel that over the past several years, we've seen a steady decline in the participation of that program, and we're hoping that this year we can turn that around. The holiday carriage rides, which is also a very popular event along the Delaware River. We're proposing to, costs have gone up, carriage rides, personnel, the tent rental cost, we also provide refreshments, costs are going up, so we're asking for a small increase there, budget of $5,000. The Best Decorated House Contest, we're asking that to be the same as $700. Holiday tree lighting, Meet Santa Village, we are asking for an increase there. One of the things we're most proud of in 2023 was the success we had with the tree lighting and the Holiday Village. And I have to shout out to Angel Perlmutter, Alyssa De La Pena, and Alfred Orr, who spearheaded that event. It was very successful. We're looking forward to continuing that in 2024. Gingerbread House building, we're asking for that to be $1,000. That will all be rolled into the holiday tree lighting and holiday village event. Flower show, we are bringing that back this year and offering that to our residents at cost. Nature Dunes activities, $2,500. Again, we have another event, the scavenger hunt this year, which was a very successful event. We're very pleased with that. The senior activity initiatives, we like to keep a line item in our budget for this because a lot of our programming, we try to reach all groups in town. And when somebody has a good idea or if the commission wants to do something that is for our senior residents, we would like to have the ability to do that. We have been discussing amongst ourselves, and we will be having someone from the commission reach out to the Zurbrooke Mansion residents and also the Living Springs residents to see if there's something there we could do for our seniors in town. The Delanco Seniors Club activity support, we're asking that to remain the same of $650. Adult volleyball, that's at the school, we're asking for $1,000. And the reason why we're asking that to be $1,000 is because that is still hosted at our school. And every once in a while, school will come to us for the cleaning costs, and we like to have that just in case, if they do reach out to us and ask if we can help them clean facility needs, we have the ability to do that as well. And new programs, we're asking for a budget of $4,000. That The 24-25 that you see that was spent last year, most of that had to do with the movie night and trunk or treat, which was, again, a very successful event, and we are looking to bring that back. We're also looking to add an additional movie night in the spring. Again, it was a lot of potential there, and what I would say for our first movie night and trunk or treat, the turnout was great. I will say got a lot of feedback from the residents, and that were coming over. We actually got a couple of people from Riverside, and I'm not being a township. I'm just saying. I'm just repeating what I heard. Is they were like, you guys are a little smaller, but much better organized, and it was. They said we love it. We're coming here first, so So that was a very successful event. Programs. Okay, so for a total programs budget of $50,550, and the commission feels that for $50,000, we offer a lot of programs to the residents of Delanco, and it directly affects the quality of life in our town and our residents. And, we're very proud of what we offer. We're just looking to continue that and hopefully expand some of the existing programs. Facilities. We're requesting our facility budget line to remain the same at $17,500. This is basically a little budget line that we put in there for our toilet rentals at the facilities as needed. We're also probably going to need a toilet rental at the Holiday Village, expanding that, and also ice machine. Refrigerator maintenance, we have them serviced twice a year, cleaned, sanitized, and then mineralized. And I think it's very important to make sure that those ice machines, which are cleaned and sanitized routinely. And then, of course, the equipment rentals, what I just mentioned, is the toilet. So for a total facility budget of $17,500. Total operating, $69,450. Less the rec operations balance of $12,634, and we're requesting funds in the amount of $56,816. And I'd be happy to answer, myself and the commissioners would be happy to answer any questions that you want regarding this budget. After this, I will turn it over to Al, who can speak on the request for additional funds for any additional staff member for our park facilities. If there are any questions from the committee, when do you have proposed budget?
Yes. So on the actual for 2023, spent $53,193, and you're asking for the proposed budget of $56,816 for this year.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a just under a 6.9% increase. And I think most of the increase, I would say, probably belongs to Community Day. Like I said, we're seeing steady decline in participation in that event, and we really want to partner with our Delanco Fire and EMS crew and try to get the word out and maybe offer some new things. Because, Delanco Community Day it's an important event.
I thought we were going to actually do something different than the firehouse this year.
That's still in discussion. Yeah, that too. There has been some talk. Fire company reached out, so we do have to discuss this at our next meeting. But we want to be able to, expand the event or have it as a if that is the decision of the majority of the commission. And then also the flower show, we are doing that digital. Tickets that we are purchased, and we're offering them at cost to our residents, in addition to the transportation to and from.
In that, this covers the transportation.
Yes.
Right, and then the residents are buying their own
Right.
Yeah,
tickets.
so because we can buy them as a group, we get,
Discount.
It's a discount, it's a lower price.
It's like $40.
But the residents do pay that cost, but we're providing the transportation.
The transportation.
To and from.
Yeah.
And that's every other year, I believe.
We didn't do it,
we
yeah, we
didn't-
didn't do it 2 years
We
ago.
skip, skip.
There's been a couple of years, COVID was a factor, and then one year there was no interest virtually,
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
only
but,
like 9 people, I think, yeah.
but a lot of
in the
people.
summer, it was like super hot.
Yeah, it's outside, yeah.
But there was a lot of people reached out, Committee Woman Fitzpatrick had a lot of people reach out and said, you know, hey, is Rick doing it?
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, we'll bring it back this year.
I'm glad to see the money's run there to do the Santa's Village again. We were all out there and
It was great.
it was a great job.
I'm working with the seniors on a joint event again, like we did last year. I had a joint event for them. I'm working with them. And hopefully I can use that, fellow who has the jazz band who lives in town, that I'm gonna have him play for that. But, yeah, that way it's all set. Yeah. It won't get bad.
Anyone else have any questions for Stephen on these numbers?
No? Yeah, it seems very reasonable.
What the Recreation Committee is asking Township Committee to consider is having an employee, full-time employee, who possibly helps out.
Yeah, it's here. So, go ahead.
So we're asking Township Committee to help us liaison out by hiring an employee that can be designated towards the Recreation Committee and the facilities that we have. When I discuss facilities, we're not all brick and mortar buildings. It's fields, nature, things that are constantly growing and every day of the year. So with that being said, we would want them to work under Public Works with John Fenimore as well. So John would be their supervisor. But we would need them basically prioritize recreation so this way we can stop the decline of our facilities. We have a lot of people that are coming in and doing work in the facilities, but subpar work. So myself and Phil try to go and make sure it's being done right. We do it ourselves, which is money out of our pocket, time out of our lives. We all have full-time jobs. So by asking these people to come on, I just made a small list of facilities that we're handling here. We're handling 12 facilities. The town has grown substantially, 40% in the last 10 to 15 years. So we are having more people come to these events, programs, facilities. So we want to keep them keeping as nice as they can without having the deterioration of having them continue to break down. On top of 12 facilities, Hawk Island has always been mentioned as something that we would like to take on through Delanco and through recreation as well. The events that we handle 10 sanctioned events and 1 unsanctioned, which is just the prom pictures that we've taken upon ourselves to ask the chief to put up parakeets, to put them out. Cal and I went out and set them up last year and supervised the event to make sure they were safe. The police were out there as well to make sure nobody got hurt and it wasn't rambunctious. So with all these facilities, these events going on, it was really, really tough for the committee to give as much time as we need to keep these facilities running the way they are. So we do have people come in and fix these things, but we do need somebody to really stay on top of them 24/7, 365. Any questions?
Al, you were saying that it would fall underneath Public Works, or this employee would fall under Public Works. Would they have any work to do with Public Works?
Yes.
You know, and whether they'd be cutting grass or doing other things through the course of the week? Because if it's a full-time person, you know, I can't,
Did you see the?
I not read all.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
The township will always take priority. So the township take priority over, of course, our recreation events. So if the township was required to have that employee working for them, whether it be brush pickup, snow removal, anything that, of course, needs priority, of course, they would go to them first. So John would call them in, have them do their job tasks through Public Works.
Okay, so we're adding an employee to Public Works, is
Yes,
what we're
I
doing.
think so.
Right. An employee that actually has, some certifications that would be required.
There is a list.
We are
There's a
asking-
list, I mean, there's an extensive, job request here.
Any other certifications they need, like right now, we have a bucket truck that's not certified, or an operator for a bucket truck. So of course, we want them to have those certifications as well. Any certifications.
Bucket truck for,
The Christmas tree, lighting is a perfect example. Bill was up there on a 12 or 16-foot ladder hanging the tree, hanging lights. So the bucket truck, it's made that much easier. Even when we're hanging the extension cords or lights from the light poles to get into the wood park. That's just one certification. There are many certifications that you have to have.
And our people aren't certified.
Unfortunately, most of them aren't.
The vehicle's not certified.
For the bucket truck, the vehicle's not certified, and we do not have someone that operates as well.
So, I kind of lost.
Whoever.
You want to buy a bucket truck? Or-
No, you have, township owns
Yeah, we just need
their
somebody to
bucket
operate it, and we need it to be operational and be certified so that we can use it.
So that would be in a budget item to repair the truck and do what's required. I mean,
we need if you, have you gone in through the parks and do you see that, like the Field of Dreams building needs to be painted again? The fencing that's out at the Field of Dreams.
Contract that out. I mean, that's how
The
things.
bathrooms need to be cleaned.
Well, unfortunately, we're doing some numbers, which we don't want to compare to that. We're doing some numbers and by subcontracting out, having them come in. That could be money that's going towards a full-time employee, which can not only work for recreation, but it works in the public works as well. So instead of giving that money to an outsider, why wouldn't you keep it in your town and have public works just become stronger with another employee?
Well, Public Works handles everything now, right? And you're saying that's not good enough?
Well, it's not good enough. So with the facilities that we're handling, a lot of it's a safety issue. So we need things done almost immediately. Not immediately, next to immediately.
What's the immediacy?
So if we can go facility by facility, we'd be here forever. But we'll just say West Avenue. So West Avenue, the siding's falling off the building, the gutters are hanging off the building, the downspouts are installed wrong, the fields need to be turned over, the scrap grass out there. You know, Mayor Bartlett has a child within the program as well. If he played the outfield, he'd have to worry about him twisting an ankle, breaking an ankle, because it's just that bad.
Okay, but that's stuff that our Public Works, buildings and grounds, those are things they don't.
We have put requests in that have not been answered or taken seriously.
Okay.
There have been requests put in that we've been told they've been fixed, and it's not even been looked at.
Okay.
There's a safety issue over at Field of Dreams right now, where there's a fence, where 3 of the rungs are just sticking out, and somebody's going to hurt them.
3 of the what?
The rungs, the slats that are running across horizontally.
What
The wood fence.
The fence fell down?
No. Each fence has 2 posts and then you have 3 rungs between it. What happens is when the fence was installed, it was never taken care of. Once again, just deterioration of the properties. So if they were taken care of, they were sealed, power washed, and need to be sealed, they wanted to work. They're all by the water, between sun and water. So as they start to ground above, they start to pull out of the rungs that are going up. And when they're out, people are going to walk by and they're going to get hurt.
The split rail fence you're talking about. The split rail fences, you gotta replace them every 6-8 years anyhow.
Right, but who's,
Yes, but
who's
what do we
taking
take
control of
years? The
that?
problem is we have to wait 6 to 8 years. This is happening much quicker than 6 to 8 years and what like 6 to 8 years.
Okay, so you buy replacement slats at Lowe's or Home Depot and you put them in.
But who's doing that? The problem is that
We have a
Public
Public
Works,
Works
I understand that
department that does
Public Works, they don't do it unless they're instructed, and a lot of times they're not being proactive
Well,
in monitoring it as much as possible.
how's the communication flow from recreation that you need something done?
From the chairman to the superintendent.
Okay. In
I
writing?
asked John to address the Field of Dreams fence when it went back to planting of the trees, where they put the markouts. We were out there at the field. Actually, I think Stephen was with me.
Okay.
We went out there and I said, John, these fences are bad. They need addressing. Okay, not a problem. I'll take care of it.
But not to put anything
And
against Public Works.
it's not about Public Works.
Once again,
It's just,
apparently it is.
we need things,
No. No shape or form. So we want to work with John, and we've asked John to work with us.
and that's why.
Overwhelmed. They just hired 2 new employees and trying to get a 3rd employee as well. The problem with this is, with no disrespect, they're not hiring skilled laborers. They're not hiring people that are going to know what we need to have done with the facilities as far as just the building structures themselves. So at that point, we're hiring people and we're still going to sub that work out and take somebody else. So we could pay that person, bring them in and have a part of our talent It only makes our town that much stronger, that much more desirable to go to these facilities.
So you're basically, we want to hire a licensed contractor.
So what is
yes,
it, what is it?
So I think overall, what the commission is looking is for a more structured approach to the routine maintenance and long-term care of recreational facilities, and having someone within, instead of creating a separate parks department, and which would probably be more costly to the town and the taxpayers to create a whole new department with whole new personnel, try to have somebody designated within the Department of Public Works that kind of is keeping an eye on the recreational facilities and coming up with the routine maintenance plan and the routine facility inspections. To give you one example, I just want to give you one example. I noticed at the trunk or treat event that the concession stand is, that we just put out a date, it is showing clear signs of deterioration. It needs to be repainted and maybe even resealed. And if there was a routine maintenance plan to have that done, you know, we could, you know, instead of waiting to where we're at the point where, okay, routine maintenance is gone, now we're talking about replacing the whole structure, it's probably going to be a long-term savings to Delanco and the taxpayers if these facilities, and like I said, this is not a attack on public works. We realized that in the last decade, the facilities have expanded and we've added new, and we're talking about adding even another parks property only recently acquired. So that's what we're really looking for, is someone to be designated, because at the end of the day, the Recreation Commission, okay, it's all volunteers with all full-time jobs. You know, and it's not 1995 anymore, it's 2024. You know, people are now working 2 jobs just to keep, you know, their households afloat. So, you know, Delanco has really relied on volunteer, you know, labor force. I think they're very lucky. So we've been very fortunate. But looking long term, we're trying to have somebody who kind of is designated for the parks. But at the same time, in the season when it's snowing around, you know, they need to go out and plow the streets. Absolutely, they're out there. And we recognize that John and Public Works have the whole town to take care of. They have the street trees, they have the storm drains, they have a lot of other duties that they need to do. And at the same time, we're building and we're expanding these parks with no plan on how we maintain them.
Another thing is,
Does recreation have a maintenance plan for facilities?
Yes, somewhat. We went over, we looked at job tasks that other towns are doing with their recreation committees, and we're trying to mimic them as well. Of course, every town is different, so it'll sway one way or another, other facilities that we have that they may not, or vice versa.
So you have a master plan of things that need to be done at every facility, correct? I remember seeing that.
Yes.
There's like a list of, you did this last year, like part of your master plan process, things that needed to be addressed. You expected every facility, long-term goals, short-term things that need to be addressed immediately.
So who saw that plan?
It was done within the commission as part of our overall master plan that was created.
So Public Works didn't see it, the committee didn't see it.
A lot of things on the list, from what I have been informed of, were already communicated to the Department of Public Works. And
in writing? I'm just asking.
No, moving forward, we have to start with a work.
Everything that you give to work with, through either email or paperwork.
Right. That's I think, a solution, and it works for, you know, shade trees been going through this, that there's a whisper down the lane, this tree, that tree, and still has a lot of kinks to work out, but a documentation flow and a record-keeping flow of an issue that comes up, that it goes to the proper channels, and either it's a ask from your end, either a seasonal requirement or a life cycle requirement, or hey, it broke yesterday requirement. And that flows through, goes to Public Works, and they say, okay, they've got the rec has an activity this weekend, we need to go out there and do that. But
absolutely.
But that's not fixing anything, because it's still up to the volunteers to generate that and figure out all the
So
problems.
if we have a full-time employee, it'd be their job to monitor our facilities, that instead of having us go out there, or working, we can't get out there and say, there's a safety issue, there's a pipe burst or something like that. And it's ruining the facility. We'll say there's a pipe burst out there, it's a wood building, it's gonna be completely deteriorated. They're gonna have to cut half that building down 4 feet high, redo the whole building. Why would we want to spend that money? Now, getting back to Public Works is great within this town. But they just hired 2 people in town, hired 3rd. Why is that? Because they are overwhelmed. As we continue to grow, they have more and more work on their plate. So this is not a person that we want to take and hold on to and put in a box and put on. We need students that are working for the town as well. But with that being said, with the monument facilities, there are one things like that. And it's a safety issue, is what we're talking about, more than anything. So why would Public Works need 2 other people and be able to get our stuff if those 2 people aren't hired? It'd be almost impossible to have handle the whole town. This is just me speaking out of turn our line. The problem is, I think, like putting all that on Public Works is just really a lot of work.
I like what you're saying, okay? But the flow of things, if they go through the head of Public Works, and whether he or she delegates one person or a couple of people to oversee that, see the things that come through recreation, because we've shortchanged Public Works over the years, not giving them the staff that they need.
Forever.
Right, forever. And we've taken care of other departments, but Public Works is like, yeah, they'll take care of it, or, it gets pushed off to the side, and if they get to it, fine. If they don't, oh well. And so what you're saying about our facilities is very, very important from safety standpoint and from just
Maintenance.
yes, appearance and maintenance. If you come into a facility and it looks good and things are working well, you have a good feeling of being in there.
It's more desirable to be there.
Correct. And so I agree with that in adding a person to Public Works. But I think the management within Public Works, whether it's the superintendent of Public Works or an assistant superintendent, one of those people should be, or it should be delegated out.
We fully intended to work with the superintendent, partner with the superintendent of Public Works and the administrator to work out exactly how that would be structured.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're asking for is someone to be under the department that is really designated for the recreational facilities and is really the point person, and will engage the contractors and will, yes, not on every maintenance issue, but when an electrician needs to be called, it won't be 3 or 4 months. The electrician will be dealt with timely and in time for our events.
So that's my next point. So in municipality bids, you have to bid out to 3 people, and you have to wait, and you have to pick the cheapest bid. Who are you giving the people? So when you hire the cheap contractor who's coming with a license short or whatever, you're not going to get the work that people really want to have. Now we have to get 3 bids, wait for them to come out, and fill out their work orders or invoices, get them us, put them in for bid. That's kind of a waste. This is kind of been done. It's over with. It's out. It's swept under the rug. We don't have to worry about it. And if it's done right from within, at that point, hopefully we won't have to worry about it for a long period of time. We don't have to call somebody back and hope they come back out. It's somebody that's on our staff that we say, you did this wrong, we'll fix it, which hopefully that isn't the case.
So the job titles that are under this maintenance worker, this is through what?
Well, these are job titles that we pulled from the New Jersey Civil Service website to give a kind of general idea of what this person would be expected to do with regards to the facilities. But I just want to make just one more point is that, we're thinking long term because if let's say there's nobody willing to serve on the Recreation Commission, there's going to be no facilities. The little bit of facility inspections that are done now, it's not going to get done. You won't find out about a gutter falling off the concession stand at West Avenue until it's fallen off. I just hope nobody's there when it does.
Until there's a game falls down, that's the interconnection.
We won't find out that there's an electrical issue until, a week before the event when the tents show up and we're, ready to set up and, that's what we're trying to think long term and get our more structured approach to our facilities and recreation. We've invested a lot of money in these facilities, a lot of taxpayer dollars, and we need to make sure it is in the recreation's charge under township code to ensure that the facilities are well maintained, and we feel that it is long overdue for someone within the Delanco Township structure to be the point person and the designee for the recreational facilities.
Example is the township committee does not come to recreation and say, what do you guys want? It's up to us to come in and say, this is what we need. So with that being said, when Public Works is hiring people, at no point will we ask, because we're handling most of the facilities in the town, is there something we can do for you? would you like to sit down, would you like to tell us what you need? You know, we're not looking to just fill a position, we're not looking to just hire anybody off the street. We're asking for 3 to 5 years of education, knowledge, certifications that they may have, of course, if they have a CDL, help, because I know we need CDLs in the town as well, to drive some of our trucks. This isn't something we're selfishly asking for, this is something to the town, not only for recreation.
We would also, you know, like this person have, or be willing to go to school for their, is the applicator license for the field turf and fertilization. I mean, right now we're paying a professional to tell our contractor what they need to apply on the field. That's what, between $7,000 and $10,000 right there that we could bring back in-house and put towards this person. It's just
$10,000 compared to $2,500, sir. We save $7,500, which
What was your request, right?
I'm sorry?
What was your request?
I'm sorry.
To have someone to manage the,
Well, it's not our request, it's something that we've done. I mean, I don't know how to cut a lawn, we don't know how to cut a lawn, we have to have somebody who can cut a lawn.
Well, I'm just talking about the fertilization.
I understand.
We're paying an outside professional to come and tell who has a maintenance contract for FOD, what chemical, it's my understanding, we're paying to tell the person what chemicals to put in the field, at what time to put the chemicals in the field, you know, when the grass should be watered, at what time. I mean, there's been many times in the summertime that, you know, Phil called me like, did you see the sprinklers on at 1 o'clock? And yeah, I did. You know, those are all in. Phil, correct me if I'm wrong. Those are $500,000 fields that we can't have for sprinklers.
Which they don't last year.
These are our town's assets, it's our responsibility as a committee to maintain our assets.
Why would we continue to put money in assets if we're not going to maintain? That makes no sense. Might as well just go for it.
And like they're saying, we have, you know, eventually we're gonna have, well, soon we're gonna have zoo broken on our property. Then we're gonna also have where Fisher Campus was, Ash Street. That's gonna be another potential park. We don't know what the school's gonna do. If they sell the building, say, the land behind it is deemed recreational, so that could wound up being another park that we're suffering with. You know what I mean?
We welcome it. We want it.
Yeah, but we suffer with the ability if they keep going out, we have to do monthly inspections, we have to do.
It's our job to provide for the community. Go, play, picnic, whatever they want to do. Without the volunteers on the recreation committee, that's not going to take place. So we are getting our blood volunteers to go out there on time. You had made a point as far as, you know, why can't public works do this? Well, unfortunately, sometimes in public works, if you say we hire a person from public works is overwhelmed. We're still back to the same spot. Who's going to go out and make sure these facilities are taken care of? That's why we ask for somebody to be hired for facilities, but under public works, this way to get stuff in public works.
But the person's creating a whole separate department, which we feel, with its own personnel, which we feel is, would cost the town even more money long term, and in a town of 4,600 residents, I don't think it's unnecessary.
I think after hearing all this, and I like to listen to things before I jump in with comments and questions, I think it comes down to 2 words, preventative maintenance. It really hasn't been, from what it sounds like.
No, I was out there.
Reactive maintenance.
I was out there last year from a 20-foot roof on an 18-foot ladder hanging off the gutter trying to screw up. If I fall, am I going to see Delanco? You don't know. I hope not. Exactly. So why would I have to do that? Would somebody have insurance through the town? You know, so this way they would be responsible for that. We should not be on that. We're volunteers. There's no way in the world we should be in doing things like this.
We're not just going to, I think it's important to say, we're not just going to fill this position. To fill the position, I think it's good. You know, we want this person to have a certain level of knowledge, be able to address any litigation problems, you know, have, you know, certification or be willing to go to school to get the certifications.
The jack of all trades, it sounds like.
In a sense, but geared towards recreation, facility management.
And with that being said, it's not that we're hiring outside of the lineup. If someone from Public Works would like to step up to that, go through certifications, we would welcome that. We would love somebody that's familiar with the town and come in and take care of our facilities, because they understand when we know them, they understand our community. So we're not saying we don't hire outside. If somebody from inside wants to take that position, absolutely welcome.
So we're adding a person to Public Works, and then a person, if it's one of them, one of the current employees or 2 of the current employees want to be certified in this area, And then their direction is still going through the superintendent of public works or the assistant superintendent of public works and taking their orders from them.
Yes.
So going through the work order process. So does someone from the commission or from the recreation commission feed that back to them, or are we having the certified employee from Public Works attending recreation? You know, who's that?
So
How's
we would-
that connection made?
Our middle person would most likely be Erin Provenzano,
Right.
because she's our coordinator for the Recreation Commission. So if there's anything that's brought to the attention of me, Al, Stephen, Amber, Maureen, it would be send it to Erin Provenzano.
Yes.
It would be sent in and we would process the work order.
We were trying to get the NMRB, Phil was the chair, myself as the co-chair, contacting her, and this way she's not
Yes.
being bombarded by the whole recreation commission.
Right.
You know, but if we hire someone through public works, we go with their focal point to be the recreation. They would be under the umbrella of public works, but we want their focal point to be recreation.
So that the facilities are maintained and also just checked on a daily basis or monthly or whatever. You know, like Amber or myself shouldn't have to go out to the parks and weed.
Exactly.
That's on it too, future parks too.
Yeah, so it's more that, you know, the facilities definitely, but also the grounds need to be maintained.
Yes.
Would the township building be incorporated in this too, since it's building and facilities?
Well, that's the part where I just go back to is, you know, we want to work with John, we want to work with Richard, and exactly how to structure this. You know, the Recreation Commission doesn't want to get into, you know, telling you how the Department of Public Works should be structured. We're telling you that we think that there is a need for someone to be the point person for recreational facility maintenance, preventative maintenance, and repairs. And, you know, we think that instead of coming to you saying, hey, we'd like to start this whole new department from the top down, which is probably going to be a serious cost, you know, we want to partner with you and the Department of Public Works and Administration to create this position within, you know, DPW. But like I said, we're open to suggestions and we're open, you know, to working with the administrator on how exactly this should be structured.
I'll give you a couple examples right now. West Avenue, Village Dreams, the facility there are over 1 month. Because we're not going in there, and there's nothing for us to do in there. We're not going to go in as volunteers and chase Munson. There's no reason for us to do that. We don't own the buildings, we're volunteering here. So at that point, somebody wants sick, and now they could have to take care of that. Whether it's just going in weekly, making sure there's no leaks, water's turned off, it's winterized, there's no rotting, there's no infestation of insects, mice, whatever it may be, that's something that.
Well, the exterminator has to put tracks up, but then you have to
They
go,
have to put tracks.
then you have to go and
Then you have to
clean
leave
up
the
the
trash,
lights.
and now you have to
Yeah.
nice, and, I mean, I have no problem doing it, I don't expect Al or Mike or Amber or whoever just go in and get facilities and have to do much. I mean, if you guys want to, feel free, be happy about it, but I want an answer to. So this is something that we hire an employee to be on the job task to be able to prepare facilities in whole.
So the employee would have a daily or weekly schedule things. Mondays you stop by West Avenue and you check this.
Well, we would send in our request for what we would want monitored and taken care of.
Right.
It would then be whoever the chief would be, it would be John from Public Works, it would be for him to delegate that authority, it's not for us to do.
So this is something you need us to fund, and then all the details will be worked out with you, and Public Works, and Richard, about who does what, who reports to what, how things are gonna go. It's a new position, so there's a lot of things that still need to be worked out, but you need us to say, great, move forward with it.
Yes, and this isn't something that's going to happen overnight, because we're going to diligently find the right person for the job. And we don't want to bring somebody in.
You guys could say yes today, tomorrow, at the 2 months from now. We might not be able to find anybody, so it's still gonna go back under Public Works, but we're still gonna enforce the work order procedure and all that in the meantime.
Yeah, and we want to vet them, you know, and make sure they know what they're doing. I can tell you, being in construction, I've never had a person come in and said they didn't know how to do everything. They come in, what can you do? We can do everything. I say it was nice meeting you. Because that's just the process.
And I think we also realize that the hiring would be handled and by Richard as the administrator, and So, I don't know, and, you know, we would hope that recreation would have some input, you know, we're obviously gonna communicate what we think the person, you know, here's the checklist of everything that we're looking for, you know, on the resume. And, you know, the experience that we're looking for, you know, what we're willing to go to school and get the certifications, to get the knowledge so that we have it here in Delanco. But we do realize that at the end of the day, you know, Richard would be the one responsible for hiring this person.
I'm not blaming you, we're just saying this.
I just wanted to make that clear, you know.
And the job descriptions that you've attached really cover a lot of the things that we need done. And they aren't being done.
We chose these.
They're being done as they can squeeze it in their schedules. That's how, it's not that they don't want to do it, or John doesn't want to do it. He can't do everything. His staff is just for certain things. Some of them can't do some.
Well, the state keeps adding things that they're responsible for now, what stormwater management, street sweeping, and they just keep throwing more things out.
Once again, 10 sanctioned events and handling 12 facilities. Things come up immediately that we need an immediate attention to, especially when it comes to safety. And we're having kids run around. The fields, they're being overrun in the summer, spring, summer, and part of fall. Between soccer, baseball, you know, they're out there playing for 365. Their fields are being played on every day. Now, we don't want to have it, we don't want to be held responsible if these kids get hurt, or adults get hurt that are there. This is something that we have to come back to the committee of public works and say, why wasn't this done? You know, we're not here to point fingers, we're just asking for it, and we're here to ask for it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You've certainly given us a
A
lot.
lot of read and a good explanation. Yeah.
Look, Committee Woman Susan, I just want to, because she brought these up, these job descriptions, we thought, these are from the state, we didn't make these up.
Yeah,
So
I
just,
think they're
we
very
wanted to also serve as, give an
Yeah.
example that, you know, these positions do exist, you know, with a lot of,
Yeah.
and the state as well.
Unfortunately, being a small town, we understand the type of it. But as we continue to grow vastly and take on more projects, facilities, it has to be done. I'm not demanding it, but I'm saying it has to be done.
You can't do it with the workers he has right now.
No, unfortunately, because they're hiring laborers, which I understand. We all need laborers. I need them in my company as well. But when I need skilled workers, I need skilled workers. I can't send a laborer out to run a job. Same thing here. So John is our front man, he's our point guy, he's our superintendent there. So everything would have to go to John or the assistant, whoever it would be. But we want to go through the assistant before going to John.
And we don't have a lot of volunteers in the town anymore who are willing to pitch in.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, we've lost a lot.
We have the same volunteers for everything.
Yeah. We've lost a lot.
I like to tell this story because I think it
Here we go.
proves, well,
Here we go,
I just want to
Richard.
say, so, I had the privilege. All right, hold on. I know, well, wait a minute. Other groups.
Lori has toothpicks in
No,
her eyes right now.
to that point, Amber, you know, I had the privilege of talking with former Mayor, Dick Mueller. We just want to let you know, we did tell them to make us legs. Just want to say, we did say that, we did tell them to make us legs. So I had the privilege of meeting, Dick Mueller, and, he called up with me at a recreation event, as he found out from the commission, and he is the father of Delanco Recreation.
Yes.
And he pulled me over to his car, it was at West Avenue, and he popped his trunk, and the trunk was just full of boxes with papers. He reaches in, he pulls out, it's the 1994 volunteer list, Babe Ruth Day at Delanco. And it had over 80 names on it of volunteers. We can barely get 3 to 4 commissioners at each event. You know, and that's just because that's just a symptom of the times, you know. People, have to make sure that their families are cared for, and, we need to look long term. We're putting in serious money into these facilities, and we need to, I'll just say again, take a more structured approach when it comes to the routine maintenance and long-term care. And I'll just end with this. At the top of the quote, this is a good quote. I just want to say this. Recreation is not a secondary concern for a democracy. It is a primary concern for the kind of recreation that people make for themselves. Determines the kind of people they become and the kind of society they build.
Thank you, Steve.
Very good, thank you.
Just want that committee for taking this consideration.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great night. For hearing us out.
There's one more presentation there.
All right, I think we now need a motion to adjourn, no?
problem.
Oh, land use board's here.
Last but not least.
Do you need a IV caffeine injection right
No,
now?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
No, you want to hire somebody for $120,000.
I think it's blanket like Joanne. Are you? Yeah.
No. So, hi. I think, what we've been asked to come here and talk about is the traffic study.
Yes.
It was my understanding that money was put into the budget last year, in 2023, and, we never acted upon that. So we had Naomi, who's our traffic engineer, provide us with a proposal to do a traffic study. We talked about it, the land use board talked about it in our meeting in December, and, we had some revisions made to the proposal, and that was what was sent on to you guys to review. So we think that this is necessary, probably overdue, and a good way for us to be more proactive at our meetings, because a lot of times applicants come in, they have their own engineer, traffic engineer that's done a traffic study, and I've never seen a traffic study report that says that the proposed development is going to have any kind of adverse effect on the township. But we all drive around on the roads every day, and we know what's been going on with, as Al said, the town has grown incredibly over the last just 10, 15 years, and not a lot of traffic improvements have been done. And something like this, I think, will give us, as a board and as a township, some basis to require applicants to, consider making improvements. That's one of the things that's included in the study, is that the engineer will look at deficiencies that they see in the town and try to recommend things that can be done to alleviate some of the issues that we're having, that maybe we want to take on ourselves, or maybe when an applicant comes in, we say, okay, well, look, here's our traffic study, we've identified this, you're going to exacerbate that, what are you going to do about it? So this gives us something, this gives us some teeth when we're considering applications as well.
And it also, I think, gives us some leverage, pressuring our legislators and DOT to do something about the future roads into the town.
Yes. I met with the DOT and Senator Singleton at the jug handle, and I finally, in March of last year, and I followed up, and I finally just got an email from them that they're going to do some striping and painting up there. I mean, they have no intention of widening it as they had originally proposed. They were going to widen the lane. Too expensive. They aren't going to change the entrance. They're only going to put some striping out there.
And that's why I think we need to start building some ammunition to really raise the issue to a higher level. It's getting ignored because we don't have a baseline to start with, and to get behind it, you need to have something to say. You guys are just ignoring a huge problem.
Well, they are, because there were 2 accidents out there in the last month. And I mean, I when I emailed them, I said, I'm still waiting. There were 2 accidents, are you going to wait for another fatality? So this is what they came back with. So whether or not your traffic study would help that is something I don't know. I know I talked to the county about different things as well. And the county seems to think that we should wait until these warehouses have more vehicles. Maybe then they have more substance to put a light up there. If they do put a light there, the township has to incur half the cost. I did find that out. But I think this traffic study is, as you said, we could have used this a long time ago. And,
Bless you.
And whether or not it will help us in the future, I don't know, but it's something I've always thought we needed, always. And I was just looking through some of the notes I had, and they go back to 2019, some of them, where it was talked about at some of the meetings, but I think it was even longer than that, I think. It's been for years now.
So this is really to have something in their back pocket to approach DOT, to work on Creek Road, the jug handle. the
Yeah, it's more
Riverside
than
Bridge.
that, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
one of the aspects.
It also will give us an opportunity to say, no more warehouses.
But is it legally
We already did
defensible?
that.
We already did that.
We already did that with our ordinance.
Right, so with those zoning changes in that I-3, you know, that was a first step, and that's been executed, and I think this is the next logical step, is to say, okay, you know, and to your point with, the county engineer, saying that we should wait until the warehouses are full. You know, typically, these things are done on projections.
Right.
Same with when a traffic study
Right.
comes into us and says, you know, any of these warehouses, they were built on spec, they don't know who their clients are gonna be.
But they have they're built with the capacity, and that capacity
Right,
has a number.
right, so you would build that into the study.
Yeah.
You know, you don't wait, by the time they come in,
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's
The
just their
engineer, quite
explanation.
frankly, was just putting out his opinion. It's not based on.
Right.
That's
Well,
all.
and it's, and his hands are tied anyway.
Could be an outlet.
Well,
But if an applicant comes in and wants to put a warehouse at 401 Creek, and they're gonna add 30 trucks, you know, in a 12-hour period, does us having that traffic study saying Creek Road, the jug's already clogged, you adding, does it do anything to change that, or?
well, I'm not an expert, so I don't know, but my thought is, no, because that's a county road, that's a state
Yeah,
road.
right.
We can't have them make improvements to that. But okay, what can we do? Can we say, you know what? If anybody that goes, up to that intersection there at 3 o'clock, when Stylex lets out and Carvana lets out, you can see it backs up all the way. So, you know what, then you're not gonna be able to make that turn maneuver, they're gonna have to take this route. You can designate routes for things, you can say, well, then if you're gonna operate a shift, then don't operate a shift that gets out at 3 o'clock, because that's when we have the most traffic there. You know, stagger your shifts, or do this, or do that. You know, we can suggest things, these are the things that we've identified are problems. How are you, Mr. Applicant, gonna make it so it's not worse? You tell us.
But the traffic study in our hand is not going to be able to have any leverage to have that applicant make a smaller warehouse with less traffic.
No, whatever the zoning permits, the zoning
Yeah.
permits.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it won't direct traffic, like, even the trucks shouldn't even be on Burlington Avenue in my mind. They're turning down Cooper. Some of these trucks are double the size that they were years ago.
Yeah.
And when they make that turn, I've almost been hit twice now at the light, and I'm surprised one of them didn't get my mirror. I mean, and that's a county road, and we can't stop that. If a traffic study, if we could have a path for these trucks, if somebody did some real good planning years ago, when economic development, they actually were selling us on development, economic development, you know, redevelopment plans. Get all these businesses in your town, economic development, all along Route 130. What have they done to help us with any of this traffic? Not a damn thing. None of their promises have been kept.
Right, they promised.
They
were gonna
promised, yes.
reconfigure
And
that.
they promised two different, and you know what, when they made the change of not doing them, they never notified Delanco. And it was really one of our problems. They notified, Edgewater Park, because Edgewater Park was against the changes. And I found out through Edgewater Park about some of the changes not being made.
But there are, like, with the landfill, there are, as part of our approval for the landfill, there is mandatory truck egress and access to make sure that those trucks are on local roads. So there has to be a way.
There has to be a way to actually,
To implement.
to at least
To make that a
time
requirement.
locks.
Well, there's ordinances in place,
Yes.
and the local police are the enforcement agent for that. So if, you know,
Yeah, they have to have an ordinance in order to
yeah,
enforce it.
so you can put ordinances in place with regards to traffic on roadways.
But I think all of these roadways we're talking about are all county roads. We could have a traffic study that says, we should have 2 lanes in each direction on Creek Road. Wouldn't be a bad idea. We can't implement anything, it's all
No,
the
but
county.
it still gives us the document that says, yes, the study's been done, this is what we need, and if it means we just have to keep hammering the county at appropriate times of the
Right
year,
now, we don't
pay
have
attention.
We don't have anything now to say other than what we're anecdotally
It's
seeing.
anecdotal.
And so therefore, we cannot present anything to the county and say, well, we'll get this stuff done.
Why doesn't the county do it?
Yeah,
They're-
the county
they're
has
for-
no interest in
No
it.
interest.
They have no interest.
But we can say, here's our study, that would be case hard, and what we're saying, whenever it comes in, she's right, every applicant has always had no detrimental impact when
Right.
they were up in the bucket. Never,
Well,
never, to the last.
that intersection up there is level of service F.
Right.
So you can't go any lower than an F. F is the bottom.
Right.
So they say, well, we're not making it
More
worse.
challenging.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But
So,
they're not making it better.
Right.
And they have no intention of making it better.
I think a traffic study is a great idea, I think it's 10 years too late. You know, spending $25,000 for something that should have been done well in advance of any of this development, or 15 years too late, before Dietz and Watson was built and unbuilt by unceremoniously by fire.
well, there's still things that can be done. And we can sit here 10 years from now and say we should have done it 10 years ago.
Right.
I mean, we keep kicking it down the road and never doing it, we're not gonna have anything.
Did you talk with Hugh at all about reducing the amount at all?
I have not spoken to Hugh about that, but I certainly can. But I know that since they first presented this at the same pricing, we did add some things to the proposal such as, is it the complete streets designation? Yeah, that a couple members of the board felt that that was very important, and that would give us, the complete streets, that's on the second page under task 3, the second to last paragraph. That would give us some teeth, with the NJDOT. So they expanded the scope a little bit, so I almost feel bad going and asking them to reduce the price. But I certainly can have that discussion if that's what the township
Estimated,
wants.
is this a max, is this filing material to a max, or is this a flat?
Right in here, it just, says an estimated fee, so that needs to be clarified.
So we can do a not to exceed.
Because that's usually, let's say, okay, here's what we expect on the hours of these visits, so we probably need to refine this to make sure that we're
It's a
not
not to exceed.
paying more money than we need to. On the other hand, if they say, hey, I'm providing this information, say, well, what about this? Well, you know,
Right.
how much back, I know that, or you can get your money.
And I think we had to charge some planner fees to that 25,000, Michelle's fees came out of it.
Well,
Next year. Yeah, this is.
no, we set aside, because that was just a flat number, you guys said, all right, let's put the number in there so that we come up with something, we can move forward.
We did.
You didn't come up with something, so, of course, so then you just put it back in.
Right.
That's not, it's not like the money is sitting there and has to be moved from place to place on paper. So it's a question of whether, because that line added in there, so from one year to the next, the budget will change. because you're not gonna see a budget increase there.
Right.
In that area. I mean, the fact that there was things that we spent planning money on that we had anticipated the subdivision.
Right, yeah.
One didn't absorb the other.
Okay. But you think this would definitely be good?
It's a start.
It would be helpful to you, because we do have a lot of warehouses that may turn over to someone new.
I don't think that's gonna change what
I don't
the
know
traffic's
what's
gonna show.
I don't know that it.
Well, each use of a warehouse has to get approval first.
Yes.
And if you have a warehouse with 50 bays, maybe they have 50 trucks that come in a day. But what if they have 2 or 3 trucks in each bay, in and out and in and out? This study could limit our approval of that type of a warehouse. So I think it's essential that we have it.
All the studies that are obligated just for their application, not as a whole.
Yeah, they
This
do,
is
I
for
know,
her
yeah.
that you're trying to encompass all.
We're
this.
trying to protect Delanco. That's what we're.
Yeah, the place was River's Edge.
Well, I was gonna say in terms of, once suppose this gets, budget for, and the authorizing, so who will supervise it? Who do they report to, who do they come back and report to? You know, we're listening, because one of the things I just learned when I spent all this time at rec is that we have volunteers who are asking to do professional work and supervising contractors, et cetera, and they're not gonna be there all the time, they can't be. So I get the same thing. I mean, you guys are happen to be professionals who are being used as volunteers. But the question is it gonna run through the general manager's work? Through maybe subcommittee of general manager's work?
I think that would be
I
appropriate.
mean, I'm not telling you what to do.
No, when you were saying that, I was thinking we just
You
form
know,
a
that
subcommittee.
way you have that connection, and a lot of times though, you have, you know, the secretary, and so she'll sit in on those, and she also is providing that information, but if somebody needs more information.
Yeah, because they do talk about, asking the township to provide certain information and stuff like that, so there would have to be a coordination.
You sometimes have someone from police department sit in on it.
Yeah.
And you really can get all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, because they would recommend different ordinances.
Yeah, so there's more to it than just saying, all right, we're 25,000, and 6 months later, here's a document that'll solve the problem.
Right.
Not gonna happen. Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah.
The process of doing the study sometimes is more valuable than the study itself, those who are sitting, sometimes you just can't do that. You can learn the question you're asking.
Right.
You can learn from these folks. You learn from your, the most of the zoning decisions are, what happens off the site, that you can't make that decision from a site plan.
Right.
Site plan decision has nothing to do with what's off site.
Right.
That's right.
The off-site stuff is your zoning, which you just did for example, warehouse.
Right.
So that's how you make the decision as to what the impact is on the off-site. So it's not
And maybe that would give us the documentation that we would need to find that warehouse, how only to limit the truck trips that a facility could generate, because I don't think we do that now.
I don't think,
I don't know if it's or not, but it would be worth asking.
You know, it's always that gives you the authority to set so the vehicle coming to landfill, the state gives you the authority to say, you are licensed, Mr. Trash Truck, you are only allowed on these roads, you can say that to it. Municipality can't say, Mr. Truck, you can go there unless that road is for all reasons, citizen trucks, because of the returning radiuses and all those kinds of things. Maybe that's where hopefully if you decide to do this, maybe they can be more aimed at that kind of stuff, but
You certainly can't define that application.
you know, one crazy thing
That's
about
right, yeah.
turning radius is, if you make it safer to turn, you speed up truck traffic and encourage it. It's always a back and forth, it's hard, difficult turn, you have to slow down and turn. And say, gee, I'm gonna stay away from that intersection if it takes too long. So they have a plan of how we want it to go. and then you do something that's
Well, we bought it. But then the Burlington, we didn't want the county to straighten that out. Make it difficult. Slow traffic down.
Yeah.
So they say, hey, here's the problem, it's traffic, this is fine, right? Let's spend some money, let's cut back the radius. I don't know if you really want it. I think that's a negative.
And we left the telephone pole there.
And I would be interested in seeing this speed broken down, because we were talking about the work being done within 3 weeks of their notice of receipt and had the study done in 4 weeks. It's $25,000 over a very short period of time. So I'd really.
You're saying per task, you want to see it?
Yeah, and what their expected number of man hours is and what they're billing per hour to get up to this estimated $25,000.
But not like counters too.
Yes.
Yeah, so 5 changes.
That one person's in charge.
Right.
That's it.
No, they talk about putting cameras in.
Right.
But I think what they did is they said, all right, this is how much, here's an idea of what we can do, now you gotta sit down and do exactly that.
Okay.
Because there's no point spending time doing that though, if you're not gonna budget. If you are to support the idea of having a study and so on, then you sit down, do it, don't waste your time, figure all that out, so based on that, we'll decide whether to do it or not. It's concept, just like, I'll say the same thing all day tomorrow, the rec study. And the council said the same thing, if you feel that concept makes sense, okay, now we'll work on the details. But if the concept and the funding is not there, why waste time spinning details?
Right.
You know, so you gotta think about whether you're, next is the concept worth doing, assuming you're satisfied with how they're doing it in the process. And so, is it, you ever call something's gonna make any difference to the community? Or it's just, hey, well, 10 years from now, what you got now. You know, here's, you know,
I think
yeah,
we're all very detail oriented, we like to know the details before we approve something.
right, but you guys gotta think of big policy stuff.
bigger
Then
picture.
you do the policy, the details.
We have 4 people who've been on the joint land use board for a number of years, and we did put this in the budget last year for it to be done, and it wasn't moved on, so.
Well, this is, we didn't have this document, it was like, the concept made sense,
Right.
let's see if you can make something, we got this far, and we're ready for that, it was too late in the year to do, so. If you, but now that you know this, you may make a different decision, and you've had this discussion that you had before. You gotta change your mind on the concept, pro or con. If it's pro, then move forward and have a little detail before you actually formalize it, and now you can sit back and say, no.
Well,
Maybe it's no.
if we get detailed information from every other entity that comes before us, why shouldn't we have detailed information on this before we make the decision?
Well, that's the
As
only
to
reason.
how much we'll allocate, because maybe we'll allocate a portion of it, or, I don't, you know what, I'm just saying that everybody presents a detail, everything's broken
But if
down.
the idea-
I mean, I'm in agreement because I trust their judgment. That's, and I'm not on the joint land use board, I don't know land use law, I never wanted to learn it, I already have enough in my head. But I do trust I trust the value they have for this town. And I wanted this study done way back when. I think I even sent Lori an email some time ago, and it was before 2019, I'm sure. But I don't think it's something we should dismiss if they believe this is going to help them in the future, because we have to worry about this town in the future. And, you know, it's not getting.
So Lori will do a great job negotiating down what they do. But then we're going to increase the man-hour cost.
Nothing's been done to this
It's
point,
based on last
and look
year.
where we are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, I've always thought we needed it. And I realize that a lot of things have happened that maybe might not have happened if we had had it years ago. But we still have more to do, because some of these businesses are going to change hands. And it's just going to happen. And I think we should, I think it's something to seriously consider. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I do believe.
Well, tomorrow's budget meeting, that's, you know.
Well, we appreciate your time and consideration.
you gotta make a decision.
And
We're not gonna
just
say nothing.
let me know if I should go back to Benoni and get more detail,
Right,
or,
it's gonna be in the budget document.
okay,
They
great.
say, all right, let's put it there, but of course, the other ones are gonna have to finally approve it.
Right.
You know, you recommend that they approve it, so they're not approving until they're happy with this.
Right.
So,
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining us on late things.
That was riveting. Good, I'm glad.
All right, I hope we don't have a need for an executive session tomorrow.
Do we need to go up there to, I don't know.
Was that you? Who made the motion to adjourn? Somebody make?
No one did yet.
Oh.
Does anyone have anything else before we leave first?
Thank you.
All right, motion by Kate, second by everybody.
Was that, who made this? Carolyn? 5 ayes. Okay. Stop this.
Can you leave the room, Ms. Viking?